the winner of the 2022 AT&T Slam Dunk Contest from the New York Knicks. Let's hear it for Obi Toppin.
I figure I spread some love and some joy amongst us, you know what I'm saying? Represent for my young fella. Yeah, I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. 6'9", incredible with the vertical. Medical prints on the rim means I'm surgical. Posterize you with a flick cause you playing gutter. Same house like my dad when he played at the Rucker. How you wanted the alley-oop from out the roof. If I was Blake, I would've jumped over a new coupe. My shoe game by the greatest, so I stay sporting. Some OB hot toppings, so I went Jordan. That windmill from the wing, it'll make the garden buzz. They take off with one bounce where Fat Joe was. The next morning, everybody saying it's my night. The great Warner will be talking on my highlights. That one jersey be swerving through the back cuts. And I ain't drunk when I tell Quick to throw it up. Get out my way, you ain't seen that no look pass. The next dunk might down talk and break your glass. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy J Boogie. I don't play no games with this. I support our team to the fullest, you know what I'm saying? But I only got one thing to say. Play the young kids, that's it. Y'all know where our future is at. The future is with them. Not in the past, not in the present, the future. Let's go. Let's go. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi.
Oh, what up, y'all? I didn't know y'all was here. You know, I was jamming out with my man Jay Boogie with the Obi joint. Let's go, Obi. Yeah, man. Obi doing the damn thing last night. You know what I mean? Let's go, Obi. Yeah, man. I thought that was fitting, bro. Another great job by Jay Boogie, man. Sometimes, you know, you make something, you know, that you know, just feels good. And that thing is just evergreen, B. We can play that forever. As long as Obi's rocking with the Knicks and keeps doing his thing, that joint can pop up. Cup of Joe or Joanne. I got my Grinch cup today. I don't know why, but it was available. I should be drinking from this side, right? But it is what it is. Whatever. Anyway. What up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Yeah. Say what's up to the chat. Salute. Good morning, Walter Blackman. Appreciate you as always. Deron Wayne in the building. Geraldine McIver, First Lady of Still Knick Fans, in the building. Salute to you as always. Dwayne Dennis in the building. Lions of Judah was good. Wonder Woman is here. Ron Sarmiento in the building. Cash Out James, Gold all in my, you know what I'm saying? Be civilized. What's good? Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know, it's another great Saturday on the East Coast. The weather is all right. Can't be mad at it. I'm rocking with it. It's all right. It's not bad at all. Right, exactly. That's a fact. Lions of Judah, 20 minutes and Obi showing up and showing out. Big facts. Big facts. Hold on, let me shift a little bit. Hey, there we go. That's better. Bring this in slightly. There we go. Anyway, salute. D-Ras in the building. Salute. My guy, what's going on? Look at this. Look at this guy. What's up, John? Appreciate you, bro. 1/2 or 1/3 of Still Knick fans. He said, top of the morning, I'm running errands, but listening. Salute, brother. Appreciate you. Julian Blum in the building. What's good? Salute. JT Riddick is in the building. Salute. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's another Saturday. Angel Torres is here. Salute. He said, happy what I saw last night. 131 points without Fournier. That's a clear message for Thibs. Interesting. I wasn't looking at it like that. That's interesting. I see what you're doing there, Angel Torres. I see exactly what you're doing, my friend. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. It's a good sign. There's a lot of takeaways from this game that I think are important. My guy D's World of Hoops is in the building. What's good, D? Appreciate you as always. Salute. Yeah, listen to this guy. This guy's onto something right here. Listen to him. John said, let's get today's show up to 1K as quickly as we can. Share the link out. Let's go. Coffee has been good the last couple of times. I ain't going front. I'm not going to, maybe it's because I've been drinking a lot of iced coffee and, you got that iced coffee vibe with the ice and everything. But then when you get the regular coffee with just that pure coffee taste, I don't know, man. Can't go wrong either way. William is in the building. Salute, William, all the way from Brazil. Appreciate you, man. El Servy's in the building. What's good, El Servy? Salute. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, so let me do this as I get it going. All right. So, once again, guys, as I say, I don't say it every Saturday, but you should know it every Saturday. But I'm going to say it this Saturday. The link is in the chat. By all means, feel free to jump in if you guys want to get on the panel and talk Knicks, talk what you liked about the game, what you're excited for, your expectations for the season, whatever it is, by all means, feel free to jump in. I know you see myself up here or whoever, whatever panelists come up here on the regular, and we're here to talk about the Knicks, and hopefully you guys appreciate and enjoy the conversation, what we're talking about. But by all means, don't feel like you guys don't have opportunity and a chance to jump up here as well. The forum is open, man. This is why I love doing it's the variety of shows. We have a Monday weekly show, SKF weekly at 9 p.m. on Mondays. And we've got the NBA report on the MBK network, Thursdays at 8 p.m. And then, 11 a.m. or 11 a.m.-ish. My bad, y'all. I had to do something this morning. I'm sorry. I thought I could fit it all in. I just couldn't. Okay. Anyway, normally Saturdays at 11 a.m. We've got Know the Ledge. And this is the opportunity for you guys to come on and jump on and say what you want. Even if you don't feel like, necessarily being on camera too long and all this stuff. You can come on, say a couple words, hang out for 5-10 minutes, get your point across, see what we think about your point if you want to get our opinion, and go from there, man. It's all gravy. It's a comfortable environment, comfortable setting. You guys are always welcome. I just don't want any of y'all to get lost in the sauce. Maybe you feel intimidated because you haven't gone on a panel before. Hey, no time like the present, man. You got to start somewhere. Start now, especially when you're in a comfortable environment where we're not going to get, make you feel uncomfortable. We want to hear what you got to say, and we welcome, all your opinions and takes, as long as you're professional and respectful, because this is the show. It's on YouTube. It may not be, national TV, but it's a forum that we have to respect, and it affects, everyone if we don't do a good job. So, yeah. All right. So you know what? Let me do this. Let me hit the intro, and then I'm going to bring my guy, D is ballin', D, the Knick analyst, D, poetic D. I can't. I'm not doing it. Let me hit the intro, and I'll bring D in here, and we'll get it chopping. How about that? All right. We'll be right back after this. And we are back, and look at that. Now we got a twofer. We got two guys to bring up on the chat. So you know what? Today's gonna be a good show.
Yo, what's good, bro?
How you doing, brother?
Chilling, bro. Same old,
Yeah, love it.
Got my notes.
Oh man, I'm ready for today. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Who else we got here? Boom. Oh, Sam Grandison in the building.
Sam.
Yo, what's good?
What's happening, brother?
Hey, we chilling. We getting a little break in. It's been a crazy past couple months. Y'all probably haven't heard from me in a while, but I'm hoping everybody's doing all right.
Yeah, doing good, man. Good to hear from you. Good to see you. I'm glad that everything's going good with you. I know it's gonna be crazy busy, but yeah, man, in the end it's gonna pay off, bro.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
Let me see here. Did I miss anybody? I think I said what's up to. Maybe I didn't. Well, if I didn't, I'm just gonna say it again. Salute to Ron Sarmiento. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Wayne Peterson in the building. Salute. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys both for being here. My guy Victor from Brazil is in the building. Knicks fans, Brazil. Salute, brother. Salute, man. Wesley Robinson is here. Salute. Good to see you. Jeremy Nussbaum in the building.
Jeremy, it's good.
Ed Winning P. I always feel like when I read this, I'm missing something. I don't know, but salute to you, my brother.
I think you got it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just like, is it another meeting?
Or whining, or Ed
might
whining.
Might be
whining.
Whining. I don't know.
It could be whining. Yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you, man. Killer Cams is in the building. Salute. And let me get to two more real quick.
Shout out to Jay Boogie.
Yep. There you go, Jay Boogie. When I said salute, the only man I could think of was my man Jay Boogie. Good morning. He said blessings, health, safety. Shout out to the chat panel. Still Knick fan show. Happy weekend to everybody. Great concert last night. Hey. Oh, so did you perform last night, or you just saying how it all went down with the Knicks? I don't know. Let me know, Jay Boogie. Rich boy in the building. Rich boy. Yeah, listen, Rich boy. I hope you're not the same Rich boy that just got, caught up, man. The other rich boy is doing some things.
Hey, And if Jay Boogie's got some film based on that performance, we want to see that junk, bro.
Yeah, man. If you got some exclusive video, we appreciate you. My guy, Soul Finger.
Soul Finger.
What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. All right. I think that covered everybody that I saw. If I missed anybody, please, my apologies to you. It's not for lack of trying. Just, the Peaky Blinders, man. Sometimes they messing with me.
Great show, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. So, guys, man, I don't know. I listen. What can you really say? It's still, obviously, it's early. It's preseason basketball, but I am liking what I'm seeing on the whole. I like what they're trying to do. I like how, people are getting an opportunity to get out there and at least play. People are getting more of an opportunity this year than they did last year, so that's good. I know it's early, and I don't know if this is going to stay. I don't think it will stay, but I like the fact that we're seeing some different things out there, which is pretty interesting. One more person I just saw, Gerard Charlotte. Salute, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. So let me ask you. Let me start with Sam, because I know D's prepared. He got notes and everything. Sam, what did you think about last night's game?
So last night's game, I honestly was able to watch the whole game, which is great because, the first game against the Pistons, I only saw the first half, so I just pretty much saw Brunson go off. This game, more of the same with Brunson. He's attacking. RJ is surprising everybody with the shooting from the three-point line. It's kind of crazy. I think he made, 3 the first game, and now he's 4 this game. You love what you see out of Obi coming off the bench. I think Deuce he's showing that he's got some improvements from last year, but he's still hesitating a little bit too much for me when it comes to that pull-up jumper. It looks kind of funky every time he releases. I don't know if that's like just him being scared or him still trying to pass the ball instead of looking for his own shot. You love what you see from Mitch. He's pretty much just commanding the paint. And he is definitely, like you said in that interview that they had, you can tell he's improved the free throw shooting. Just off of like the form in itself. It's just Mitch is looking like a better free throw shooter. And I think RJ as well. He's been knocking him down. I'm still hesitant on Randle. I don't really know. That second quarter was good, but he's still, I don't know. He's still being Julius Randle. I didn't see much out of Fournier last game. IQ, I think, he does get his shots off, but I think sometimes he just zones out everybody on the court. It looks like IQ is like, okay, I'm going to dribble the air out the ball still. Take my shot. And sometimes it's just not a good one. So I feel like there's some instances where IQ could move the ball around and it would benefit the team better. I didn't see much out of Sims. I think he's still hurt, isn't he? He looked like he was kind of labored out there with his hand or whatever. So I think Sims is kind of messed up. But overall, I think the Knicks have been playing good these past 2 preseason games. Cam Reddish, I don't really know I still can't really say. I don't know, man. I really want the best for Cam Reddish, but it's hard when you're not seeing enough. He's being presented time. He's still early. Like, as we said, we don't want to get too high or low on anybody right now. It's only preseason. So he's had some flashes, but that's pretty much been his career so far, is just flashes. So we need consistency from Cam Reddish. Besides that, I don't really think I have anything much to say about the Knicks. I think we're going to try to finish strong in the preseason, but I think that Memphis game is going to be very big for this team. That to start off the season, that's going to be a tough one.
Right. I agree. Right. Well, don't worry, Sam. You may not have much to say right now, but I'm going to get some stuff to be said from you because I got questions.
Good.
Boogie Down BX is in the building. Salute to you, sir. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. All right. So, and let me say this before I get to D. If you guys see in the background of the show, you see I got my guys here at the bottom. Deuce, Obi, Grimes, RJ, and Mitchell Robinson. I was gonna take Deuce out, but right now, currently, Deuce still is in this mix, so let's go. It works. It works. Anyway, what's going on, D? What'd you think about last night's game? And like I said, whatever you want to say, we're gonna chop it up and break things down. I have some questions. I'm gonna need some answers too, man. Because
I got you. Okay, so how do you want me to attack it? Do you want me to go through like a team perspective, or do you want me to do like a player by player perspective? Do you want to keep that for later? What do you want?
Yeah, no, keep the player for player perspective for later. Well, just the team. How do you think they looked, and whatever your thoughts are. Yeah.
There was good things, and there were some things that need to be tightened up. And one thing that I've always talked about, one of my commandments, for them to be a 43, 45, 47 win team this year is points in the paint. They had 50 last night, which is good. They averaged 43 last season, or 42. So it's nice to see that uptick. Mm-hmm. But they also gave Indiana 52 points in the paint as well. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. Second chance points, I think there was something like 22, 24 to like 2 or 4 or something like that. So second chance points, it was killing it. They only had 9 turnovers, which is fantastic. Fast break points, 17, which is definitely an uptick from last year. But overall, it's preseason. So, you go through the ups and downs of how guys look from one quarter to the next and stuff of that nature. So, example, the starters looked okay in the first quarter. Tom Thibodeau, look, I give Tom Thibodeau a lot of crap. He made some critical timeouts yesterday. True. At the right moment and nipped some stuff in the bud. I congratulate Tom for that. He needs to do that more. But just to go over like a quarter to quarter thing, and I'll be fast with it. I won't be too long.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Okay, that's the case. Don't do that.
Okay. All right, my bad.
Gave him the green light.
Nah, man, go ahead. Do your thing.
Good looking. Appreciate it. So I think one thing I noticed in the first quarter was that I think it's important for this team to shoot well. And the reason why that I say that is because if you notice in the first quarter, they were very jump shot heavy and really didn't get to the paint too much. And you can see it affecting the flow and the fluidity of their offense. So they're dependent on. I was expecting. They're dependent on jump shooting, so to speak, and they're not able to get into the lanes. I don't like that. I think it's imperative that they find ways, either through Jalen Brunson to the pick and roll, right? Either through off-ball movement, backdoors, V-cuts, shutter screens. I don't care how the hell you do it. Flex cuts. I don't care how you do it. You have to find ways to get into the middle. That's going to open up your shooting. I saw them relaxing a little bit. Wasn't really feeling that too much. It's all good. And you saw defensively, you saw on-ball containment was a little bit of an issue. I was talking about yesterday on the show about how many three-pointers they gave up last year. And you saw it was imperative yesterday. I mean, it was important to see yesterday that there was a lot of open threes out there. And it kind of concerned me a bit. That the bench came in. Bench did okay. I thought the start of the second quarter, I thought Obi was very good, very energetic, had 10 points in the short minutes. And I think the game turned around when Obi started getting going a bit, but it really turned around with Jalen Brunson's point guard savviness, man. Like, he didn't shoot well yesterday. And you're not going to see that too much from Jalen Brunson. But it's the point guard savviness, man. Making the right plays, putting pressure on the defense, getting to the foul line, shot 9 of 9 from the free throw line in the first half. Okay. So I thought that was imperative to how they were able to stretch out the lead a bit. Defense was okay with the second unit the first unit in the second quarter. There were some good moments. There were some bad moments. But I thought that was imperative to start it. I think also Julius Randle having 8 points in 4 minutes was absolutely – I think 9 points in 4 minutes was absolutely important as well. Mm-hmm. And that was a nice little run he went on there. And they needed that really stretched out the lead for them. Third quarter, it was – and it's funny, the first unit at the end of the second looked pretty good. I was like, okay, I like this. And Ron, I even texted you. I said, hey, this is looking decent. I like this, right?
Yeah.
And then the third quarter came. And And don't forget, this team was 30th in the league last year in third quarter scoring. So what is the pattern and the habit of them coming out a little lackadaisical in the third? Right, even happened with Detroit a little bit as well, but it happened more with Indiana. And Indiana, they shrunk that lead down to 8. They were settling for jump shots again. I thought RJ was forcing the issue a little bit after he had a beautiful first half, but we'll get into that later. I thought that it was sluggish. Defense wasn't as intense, and it kind of put them in a hole offensively because they're not able to get consistent dribble penetration. We love Jalen Brunson, but he's only 6'1". He can only get there so many times. 6'4", 6'5", Jalen Brunson is a totally different story. But 6'1", he can only get there as much as he can. And you saw the limitations last night. You saw him trying to finish over height. It kind of bothers him a bit. With Dallas, he had the space to do that. In New York, it's a little bit more congested. Keep that in mind. But the bench came in. They cut it down to 8, and then Obi and Quick went on a tirade. And shout out to Obi's defense. We'll talk about that more later. It's gotten better. But Quickly was very instrumental. I think he scored like 8 points in the last couple of minutes of that quarter, which was very instrumental. It really stretched the lead back. I don't want to see IQ be an exclusive point guard on any planet or any universe. I really don't. I want him sharing that thing with Rose or sharing that thing with Deuce or sharing that thing with RJ. I don't want to see him exclusively. He's a rhythm killer. But, and then the fourth quarter, the bench came. Obi started going crazy, hit some threes. It was fantastic. I like how they took the punch because Indiana did punch him in that first quarter. I like how they took the punch. I like how they responded. I like how they played with energy in that second quarter, especially because the second quarter is where they won the game. If you look at the scoring of each quarter of first, third, and fourth, they were pretty much neck and neck. So that second quarter really won them that game. They did a great job of getting to the free throw line that quarter as well. Good things, bad things, some ugly things. We could talk about that more with the player. But like I said, a good step in the right direction. The team is more competitive. There's more energy. There's a little bit more like a competence offensively and defensively, especially amongst the players as well. I thought Tom was stellar yesterday as far as his timeout calling. He called out some really nice plays off the timeout. I thought that was essential. And I also like how he switched Cam onto Tyrese Halliburton in that second quarter, and that kind of changed things too. It stuttered their offense a bit. I wish Tom would have gone to that a little bit earlier, but it's fine. He did it. I'll congratulate him because he did it. And good, bad, good step in the right direction. Let's see how game 3 looks.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, man. I like it a lot. Appreciate the breakdown. Thank you for doing that. Sure. And I do that. I saw some really good things from last night. I once again I'm continuing to like the rotation and how Tom is moving people in and out. I understand it's preseason. I don't expect in the regular season, but let me tell you something. If he sees good things coming from it in the preseason, maybe he'll be a little bit more inclined to try it. Maybe he'll fall a little less on his sword to go back to his regular scheduled programming. Now, my whole thing is I'm going to talk about Tom in a very positive manner from what I'm seeing currently. Do I think Tom is going to stay this way? I don't, because I think when the pressure starts to hit and these games mean something, and if the Knicks get off to any type of bad losing streak or anything happens like that, Tom may revert into what Tom does because he may think that things are getting away from him rather than playing it out and letting it come back. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But so far, I am really liking this early version of Tom Thibodeau. It's like you're getting the good with the bad stuff that you didn't like. He's working on it. So it's a combination of everything together because Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Some of the things that I liked, I was noticing last night is, as you said, his timeout usage, the substitutions. I also like, now it could be because that's his guy. I didn't see it. I'm only looking at what I see. I'm not focused on certain things. I like when Deuce made a poor play. And they called the timeout, and Deuce came over to the bench. And before he got to the bench, Tom Thibodeau told him some things and kind of tapped him on the side or whatever, like go get him. But he gave him some encouraging words, which is what I had wanted him to do in the past with Obi, that I don't feel he did a good enough job at. So I'm not saying that he's necessarily changed and this is who he is now. Maybe it's just because Deuce is one of the guys he knows where Deuce is on this team and he's trying to give him encouragement. I think, but I'm going to say that maybe Tom is doing a better job at it, because if you listen to his press conference last night, or at least a snippet of it, he was talking about Cam Reddish. And if you look at the box score for Cam Reddish, and let me just see, because I got it right here. Cam had, and I'm going to pull it up for everybody to see in a minute. Cam was 1 of 7 from the field. He was 0 of 2 from 3. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, and 2 points. So total in 21 minutes. Now, some might say, hey, that don't look too good. And for what we want to see from Cam, he could have looked a lot better offensively. But defensively, he had moments where he was very active. There was also some moments where he messed up, and we'll get a little bit more into that when we kind of break down individual players. But what Thibodeau said was he was trying to let Cam know, as well as other guys on the team, that there's other ways to affect the game while you're out there. And he liked certain things that he saw from Cam Reddish, and he wants him to stay at it, just keep working. And so that's a good sign. That's good that Thibs is talking that way. Now, granted, it's preseason, it's early, there's no pressure. So this is a teaching time. It's good to, elevate your players and lift them up. So I just hope this is the same mindset going forward, because there's no reason for it to stop. No matter what's happening, no matter if the Knicks are in a bad streak, or if they're playing really tough competition, or if they got big games coming up, as a coach, you need to kind of stay even-keeled and keep that same mindset. So that's how your players continue to develop, and they understand that you're cultivating them and you're in their corner. My opinion.
It's a good one.
And so to your point, D, when you brought up Brunson's free throw shooting, I mean, last night might have been an aberration, not for Brunson, for the team. I mean, we shot 96% from the free throw line, folks. 26 of 27. Can you imagine?
I would not believe that if you told me
that's crazy. What? I was like, when I saw it, I was like, what? Is this? Wait, did they put Indiana and the Knicks together? Oh, is this the Knicks? I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, that's a fantastic sign. It's only one game, but you like it. And to your point, once again, D, about Jalen Brunson, you see the stabilizing effect that he has, because he's a good free throw shooter. I don't know if he's 100% good, but he's a very good free throw shooter, and it showed. So when you got a guy like that is knocking down their free throws, everybody else on the team knows that free throws is a level of urgency, and we all got to get better at it. Seeing that is always a good thing, knowing that you got that stabilizing effect and that people take free throws shots serious, and it's good. It's good for the team. I like it. I'm happy about that. Really happy about it, honestly. So we'll see what transpires down the line, but I'm feeling good about those, early takeaways. There is some other stuff that I noticed, and probably I'll break it down and save it for the individual guys instead of just saying it now. So let me do this. Let me shout out a couple more people in the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna pull up the box score and we can kind of go down the line. Shout out to Keyshawn in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Good to see you. East Blue Drew is in the building. Salute.
Goodies.
A-Train is here. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Big Mike is here. Let's see. Canal Banlaya in the building. What up, Canal? I got those guys. Good to see you guys as always. Appreciate y'all. Did I say no? I don't think I did. Parish Duggar. Did I say Parish Duggar?
No, you didn't. How dare you?
Parish Duggar in the building. I know, man.
Let's go, Parish.
What's up, Parish? Good to see you, brother. Hector Gaston. Yes. What's good? Salute. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here as always. My guy, Project Nerd, aka Heck, Yankees Morning Brew in the building. Oh man, When you say Ron, what's good? Let me tell you something. Heck, nothing is good on the baseball front. I don't even want to think about it right now. So good for you, Yankees. I don't want to think about what's going on the baseball front. Leave it there.
I heard your Mets got smacked.
Oh my God, man.
Hey, D, you know I'm a Braves fan too, so I can really get
on. Hell no. Damn it, man. I thought we were going to have two people, chopping it up with me today, but I guess it's just me and you, D. Get up out of here, Sam. Nah, man, that's cool. Hey, man. Hey, they're the defending champions, so good for them. Let's see. There was one other. Oh, there we go. Keith Turner. Salute. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you, Worldwide Al. Salute to you, my brother. Hey, guys, if y'all haven't checked it out already, once again, as I always say, check out For the Love of the Game. That's right. Number 4, OUR, Love of the Game. Uh-oh. My guys, Worldwide L and Hard Will in the building. Well, Hard Will's always here, so I'll put him in the building as well. Yeah. All right. I think I got everybody, guys. Like I said, if I missed anybody, it's not for lack of trying. I just may not have seen you. But salute to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. Let me get this up on the screen. Why
you do that? Paris Stoker. Ben Mathurin looked fantastic last night.
He did.
And Tyrese Halliburton looked good last night. It's just giving props with his due, bro.
Bro, Mathurin, he just wanted it more, bro. He really did. Mathurin just wanted it more.
He looks like an animal, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you know why I know that he's gonna be a good one? Because he upset me, he bothered me a little bit because they was down 13, I think, and he was getting all hype about an and one layup, and I was like, oh man, I don't like it. But that's good for him, man.
He's got that pit bull, bro.
Yeah. I know. Shout out to him. So this is the box score, guys. This is what it looked like. I'm gonna run down some stuff real quick, but let's do it like this. Let's go guy by guy. So RJ Barrett was 6 for 15 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. I mean, it's only 2 shots, but it's good that he hit both of them. That's a good sign. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 18 points in 27 minutes of play. Now, before I continue to go down the rest of the guys and we break down RJ, I will say that the starters were solid, but offensively they struggled for the most part as a unit. Now, but they still had solid games. So that's a good sign, because it's not like when they were out there, the deficit had risen. And I think at some points Indiana was in the game, but I think Indiana came back and really started cutting into the lead when the starters started to come out of the game and the bench first got into the game. Mm-hmm. And then eventually the bench got it going and started to kind of, get the lead back. And then the starters came in and the lead extended a little bit. And then the bench came in again after the Indiana tried to cut into it again. And then they took it to the next level. But I think the starters, that's a good sign that even though the starters were kind of struggling offensively, the Knicks were still either in the lead or it was a close game. I think they were in the lead before they left. So that's a good sign. So RJ Barrett, let me do this. Sam, what did you think about RJ Barrett's play last night?
More of the same from RJ. I mean, he's being a lot more efficient. And the shooting is there. From this small sample size, the shooting is there so far. It looks like RJ Barrett is going to be hovering around, and I don't want to jinx anything, but he might shoot close to 40% from 3 this year.
Wow, that'd be great.
Because it's looking pretty clean. And he's also still getting his teammates involved. Whenever he has the ball in his hands, he's making plays. Because Brunson's commanding most of the ball handling duties at this point, but whenever RJ does get the ball in his hands, he's getting teammates involved. I like the way how he's shooting the 3 ball. That was something that we critiqued him for. Still, the mid-range game could use a little bit of work, but the 3-pointer and the free throw is what I've been pleasantly surprised with RJ Barrett in these 2 preseason games.
Okay. What do you think, D?
Let's see. Let's look at your stats real quick. So you got 6 of 15 for 40%. Bleh. We like the 4-7 from 3. That's right. And the stroke the mechanics look better. It looks a little bit more fluid. You saw in other years he had like a little hitch towards the top. This year it's like that. It looks very fluid. It's very good. I thought there was times where he read the game a bit better these first 2 games that he did last year. So that's encouraging. We'd like to see the assists go up. I like to see the rebounds go up a bit, especially in 27, 28 minutes. Defensively, he looked a lot better last night than he did Tuesday night. So I thought that was encouraging. I thought the third, he kind of forced a bit, was forcing the issue. Instead of letting the game come to him, he was just trying to get fouls instead of finishing plays. We talked about that with him being a problem last year. But overall, I like what RJ brought yesterday. I thought in that first half, he was steady. He was steady at that first half. Good defense, shooting the ball well. Wasn't really forcing the issue like he was in the third. I like what I see from RJ so far. Very encouraged to see what else happens.
All right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, listen, he looks good, and it's nice to see him coming out the gate playing well instead of having those slow starts. Now, granted, this is the preseason, so maybe once the regular season clicks on, maybe he does go back into old way. I hope he doesn't. I hope that because he knows it himself. He says it every year. He knows I start off slow. So it's something I know that he's trying to fight against. So I thought that RJ played really well. I thought he played solid basketball. But there is one thing that I saw that I didn't like, and I don't know if it's not necessarily RJ, but it's him I'm calling out because I saw it happen to him a couple times. I don't like some of the switching that's going on, at least the way the switching is working. RJ got caught switched on a couple of bigs yesterday. 2 times I can remember in particular, and he had nothing for those bigs. I mean,
of course
yeah, I mean, obviously he wouldn't. And it was a situation where he switched with Randle. Now, I get it. I mean, that's the way Tom Thibodeau's defense works, but you also want to try to give yourself a chance to be able to defend the situation. So maybe in that case, if it's a situation where the switch is happening at the top of the perimeter and it's between a big and whoever RJ's guy is, or whoever, like maybe it's a situation where instead of RJ going over, someone else from the backside comes to help RJ out when the switch happens, like Mitch or another, whoever it, I guess it's Mitch because RJ's the third. He's the small forward. Someone would have to come over, whether it be Mitch or Hartenstein. Someone has to come over to kind of help RJ because once he got caught up in that switch, it was curtains. So that was one thing that I saw that I just don't like. That's more, I guess it's more of a Tom Thibodeau set thing. What I didn't like as well is that RJ is so focused on giving, and I think that's a lot of the Knicks players who are on the wing at the time, giving Jalen Brunson some help. And when he went over this, I saw this twice as well. He went over to give Jalen help, and his guy knocked down an open shot, whether it be a 3 or a 2, whatever it is, or it was a backdoor cut that his guy did. And RJ's, he can't recover. So it's just all about the timing and figuring out what's the best way to help, guard guys or come over with help for your teammate. Yeah, man. So that was just, little things that I saw. And I saw it happen with Cam as well. And I just wanted to bring it up because with a good team that's playing well, they got the chemistry going, they got their good offensive sets. Start gonna get, it's gonna get a little crazy. It might get a little hairy. So there's something to think about. And the link is in the chat once again, guys, if anybody needs it. Sincere the Genius is in the building. Salute. We see you. Let me blow this up for a little bit while I just, look and see if there's any other names here. Yeah, I think I got everybody else. All right, cool. So that being the case, next person up is Mr. Julius Randle. Julius has been a little bit of a conundrum for me. Okay. So Julius was 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, which is good. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal and 15 points in 22 minutes of play. Sam, thoughts on Julius?
Honestly, like I said earlier, Julius Randle, I think it was that second quarter, or it might have been the third, where he had like just 9 points in a row, and he looked like vintage Julius Randle. Mm-hmm. But then outside of that, it was just like bad. And I'm not even trying to harp on him that much, but I mean, for the most part, when it came to earlier in the game, like Julius and Cam, and I don't want to talk on Cam too much, but they were just missing wide open shots. They weren't bad shots. They were just missing. So, I mean, the field goal percentage could be a little bit misleading with Julius because he was just missing wide open shots. Yeah. But at the same time, it was also instances when I was watching the game where he's just not helping RJ Barrett on a center box out. And RJ Barrett got like 2 fouls in a row because Julius Randle was standing there watching RJ Barrett try to box out Miles Turner, or who was it, Bitadze, or one of those bigs that they had on the team. So, I mean, it's just little lapses where I feel like Julius is still like just not there. But offensively, for that one stretch he had, that was vintage Julius Randle that we all wanted to see. We just need consistency from Julius Randle. Yeah. Salute, Boogie. How you doing?
It's good, Boogie.
Hey, good morning. No, good early afternoon, gentlemen. Blessings and health safety to everybody rocking in the chat. Sam, what's good? How you doing, Sam? Good to see you. Good to hear from you, my brother. I know you maintaining and handling your business, so you know what I'm saying. But it's good to see you and come aboard and rock with you. Shout out with D's Ballin'. Had a great super time with him yesterday. You know what I'm saying. Y'all continue on rocking and supporting that man's work, you know what I'm saying? Because he does gets it in and puts it in. And, Ron, every day. Sometimes I got to even call Ron just to get the reminder. I am still a Knicks fan, man. He lets everybody do that, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to his partner, John, who, wherever he is, he's enjoying his life, you know what I'm saying, on a great weekend, man. Man, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for me being a Knicks fan. I hope it is. It's for y'all. I constantly keep celebrating the fact that we have a general on the floor. The same guy that people said was too small, the same guy they said is unathletic, the same guy they said that we overpaid, you know what I'm saying? The guy is here, man, and he's helping the team in a whole lot of different ways. Even when he don't have a great offensive game that some people want to see, I don't want to care nothing about his offense. I want to see him doing what he's doing and getting everybody in the right place. But for the basketball game last night, the basketball game was the basketball game, but I was more in tune, more happy for the family. You know what I'm saying? Seeing them guys being around one another as a family, seeing them, having a good time, laughing and cheering and rooting for one another, being there for one another, just in great spirits, you know what I'm saying? All the way down the whole bench, all the way to the floor, man. Them guys is happy to be around one another, you know what I'm saying? They're there for one another. It looks like nobody has no egos. Everything is out the window, out the door. Everybody's on the same page, and they want to show and prove that last year, what I did last year, it wasn't good enough for myself. So if it wasn't good enough for me, then I know it wasn't good enough for the organization, and I know it wasn't good enough for the fans. So this year, I'm going to correct myself and come out here and play complete basketball and give my efforts to whatever I can do for this as far as team first. Team is always first, man. Together, everybody always matter. And that's what's going on right now. There's a team as a team together, the coaching staffs together, you know what I'm saying? The office is what they're in. And James Dolan probably is happy, you know what I'm saying, feeling coming into this season. Because you can feel when you have a good vibe, a good spirit, you know, around you, as well as you can feel when things is going wrong. You know, back in my prime, when I was doing what I was doing, I wasn't feeling that day, something feel wrong. I ain't going out there. That's how you get the spirits and everything, you know what's going on. So I'm more happy about the team that more than anything. You know, we're going to win some games and we're going to lose some games, but the development of the family mode is more important than everything. When everybody can get together and be there for one another, talk with one another, communicate, pat one another on the back, let them know good play, let them know, that was a bad play. And when you tell somebody it was a bad play, I ain't even see no frowns on people's faces when people was getting checked. That's what I be watching, man. I don't care about that basketball right now, because you know what I'm saying, the real thing get ready to happen in Memphis to Tennessee. Lord, I really feel this. I ain't heard nothing down there from Arrested Development, so I'm looking to go down there like the Giants did and knock Tennessee head off, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying, we could do the same thing. I don't care about what they got. I know they got the number 2, so what? We got the number 3. He's looking for everybody on that 25 list, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy, man. I'm happy with what we got going on, man.
Good.
Yeah. Hey,
sorry. What's going on?
It works.
Give me that sample. I need that sample, man.
Yeah, that came right on time. Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know if I can say it better. Thank you, Jay Boogie. What you thought about Julius's game last night?
Julius. To me, the way Julius is playing is Julius is striving to put out the best body language expression effort that he can to say, I was wrong last year. I want to fit in. But being that he's trying to get back and fit in, to me, he looks like he's also a little bit scared because some people might not want to receive him back, which we know that. And some people are happy with him doing what he's doing now. So if Julius just wipes all that out of his head and just continue on playing ball, and more importantly, a big stat he's starting off on the first, leave the referees alone, Julius can do some things that make us all happy. That's what I'm looking at with Julius, man.
I agree with that. I mean, I hope it continues. I swear I wish these games were regular season games, because then at least they mean a little bit more. So I hope that Julius continues to play, or at least give that body language like you're talking about. Give the same body language off and keep doing that, and just worry about playing basketball. His game, it'll get there. But D, what do you think about what you saw from Julius last night?
Julius is it's like the curious case of Julius Randle. And besides that 8-point, 9-point stretch he had in the second, I thought he looked like garbage last night, to be honest. From, one of the questions moving into this year was that he's 30% last year from 3. And wide open shots, Jalen Brunson hooked him up beautifully on some of these shots. And it wasn't like it was off, okay, good rotation, good spread off the fingers. And they were some ugly misses, bro. So that's a concern moving forward as far right? And there was a couple of those last night. Like Obi had a couple and stuff. I think Deuce had one too. But anyway, so a big question, and this is important for Jalen Brunson and how he's able to operate through the pick and roll and through space, is Julius is going to have to be able to stretch the floor. RJ Barrett has shown that so far in 2 games. Julius has not. When he has shot the ball well, which is that third quarter of the Detroit game, that wasn't within the flow of the offense. That was him getting the ball, taking 2 dribbles, getting into his shot. So it's very important to see how he hits his catches and shoots moving forward. I thought defensively he was a mess yesterday. Lack of effort on certain plays, missed rotations, guys backdooring him. Didn't even care. That type of attitude. So I wasn't really feeling Randle last night. And that's not because Obi had a good game. I'm assessing Randle based on Randle. And
right.
I want to see Randle too. Here's another thing too with Randle. He settles for the jumper a lot, man. And we know this already, but he still does. And it's like, dude, you're a 6'9", 6'8" power forward with very good handle at that position, with a nice board structure of a body. Have guys feel you, bro. Get into your spots, get into that restricted area, get into that elbow area, and cause havoc. And I don't see that so far. So it could be a thing where he's adjusting. He's seeing what his role was because it was different from last year. And we all can see this is Jalen's team right now. So it could be an adjustment with that. But that has nothing to do with your effort defensively. And closeouts were terrible. Weak side was terrible. When they switched and he had to guard the help of recovery, dudes were backdooring him twice. It was bad. So not a great game for Randle yesterday. Hopefully against Indiana in a couple of days, we'll see a better version.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I would have said about Julius Randle. I think that there was some good things as far as his attitude, his mindset, how he stayed in the game last night and he didn't do the crying and the whining to the refs. I seen him make one little face, like just a regular, any player would do it. So that was a good sign. It wasn't over the top. I like the way he stood. He kept himself in the game and kept at it. And then eventually got into a little level of, because he was started off poor shooting and he just couldn't find the rhythm. And then once he went to the free throw line, he knocked down those 2 free throws. Then he came back down, hit a 3. Then he came back down, hit a jumper. Then he, a couple shots started to flow in succession. So that was good for him. He is settling once again. And I don't know why that is. I really, something just tells me that maybe what we think is good for Julius and what he needs to focus on, he just isn't comfortable. He doesn't like being in the paint. Like, I don't know what it is. It just looks that way. But I'm still hoping that he finds, because I still think that there's still a level of uncomfortability here between certain players. Julius is one of those. He's a big part of the Knicks offense, and the offense has been ran a certain way, and now we're trying to do things a little differently. He's got to get comfortable. It's the same thing with Fournier when Fournier gets back out there. So I just think that's going to come in time, and I think it's an 82-game season. It's a lot of time for them to figure it out and get it right. As I say all the time, I like to use it as my example. The LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade team, when they first got together, they looked horrible in the first month of the season. Took them a month, 3 weeks to a month to get it together. By the time they hit the month mark, they were flying all cylinders. And I'm not saying these Knicks are then. I'm just saying even those guys took a while to gel and get it together. Now you got a team where you got a true point guard in Jalen Brunson, and I hope everybody realizes now that he's a true point guard, because I saw on Twitter there was a lot of people saying, you know what? Now I'm seeing what Jalen Brunson is. Now I get it. Okay, I'm on board. Because some people were kind of, I guess they couldn't see it because he wasn't in a Knicks uniform. But now that he's here, they see what he brings to the team, which is great value. Let me, before I get to the next guy, Mitch, let me just say what's up to a couple more people in the chat. Travel Vibes in the building. Salute to you. C. Cartagena in the building. Ashley Inc. is here. What's good, Ashley? Wisdom. What's good? Andrew K. is in the building. Nick Yak is here. What's good, Nick Yak? Let me also say what's up to Vaughn Allen. Appreciate you. Excuse me.
Let's go, Vaughn.
Let me see. There was 2 other people. Yep. Shy Powers. Salute to Shy Powers. Good to see you, brother, as always. And listen, guys, as I always like to say, if y'all haven't checked out Real Talk, Knicks Real Talk, should I say, with Divine and Shy Powers, please do. Another good show, good content, man. They've been rocking for a minute together. They got nice chemistry. My guy KJW too, always salute to him as well. But yeah, man, definitely check out Knicks Real Talk. It's a good program. Like, comment, and subscribe to their channel over there on YouTube, Knicks Real Talk. All right, and last but not least from this group of people. Shout out to my guy Rayology. Listen, salute to my man Rayology. Guys, listen, Rayology, I'm not trying to put his business out there, but he's a warrior. He's dealing with some health issues, and yet he still tries to get on platforms, get in the chat, talk about his Knicks. And he's just a solid individual, man. I wish him nothing but the best. But none of us can imagine what it's like to go through what he goes through on a daily basis, waking up with pain and just struggling through the day, but still doing what he's got to do, living, fighting. So salute to my guy Rayology, man. I appreciate you, brother. Keep continuing to get better, get right, man. Do what you got to do. But the love is there for real, man. We all appreciate you.
No salute, bro.
Without a doubt.
No doubt, man. There's always somebody out there in that world that's going through something even more worse than what you are. And when you have yourself in your life and you're in great form, great conditions and everything, you know what I'm saying? It's make sure you appreciate that. Appreciate yourself if you don't have a lot of situations, because there's people out there that's going through things and trying to get through things, you know what I'm saying? And they fight like Ron just said every day, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to, you can't give up. They not giving up. So why would you give up on yourself, man? And a special shout out, I want to give a special shout out also to Ray, and I also want to give a special shout out to our Division I team, Knicks on Wheels. You know what I'm saying? Them guys always at halftime, they playing basketball full court in their wheelchairs. They, you know what I'm saying, having themselves a great time, a good time. And they entertain us, and I try when we have a game and they go on, I don't get up at halftime and go to. I watch them guys because they motivate me too. Who am I to, to not feel motivated when I'm completely healthy? And them guys out there, they doing something that a lot of people would give up on. So shout out to anybody that's going through something, man. We pray for you, man. It's not about what you go through. We all root for you to get through it.
Right.
Facts. Well said,
Facts. 100%, man. And John was saying, smash that like button, y'all. If y'all haven't done so already, smash that like button. As I told y'all before, some people that may not know, hit that live chat button, close the live chat, hit the like button, and then hit the live chat button again in the middle, bring you right back where you was, man. So, shout out to Stafford Don in the building. Salute. More fire, rhythm beats. Booyaka. Don't let him fool ya. Oh, okay, all right, I'm done. Yeah, all right. What's going on, y'all? Anyway,
said, don't let him fool ya.
Oh man.
Well, y'all New York guys, man.
Yeah, well, you know how it is, man. I live my routine, all types of things. Anyway, shout out to Stafford Don. Mitchell Robinson, folks. Mitchell Robinson. So let me tell you something, man. Am I still seeing what I want to see from Mitch? Not yet, but I'm happy with what I'm getting from Mitch. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it does. He was 4 or 5 from the field. Obviously, you don't shoot threes, which I'm not saying I want to see him shoot a 3, but 15-footer maybe, a 10-footer, 12-footer. Just one, Mitch. Give me 1 or 2. Let's just let it fly. That's all I want to see. I'm just, I'm tempering my enthusiasm about it, but outside of that, he's been very solid. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Now, that in its, you know what I mean? That in itself, come on now.
That thing was looking like he could shoot text.
That's you know what I'm saying. That's a nice thing, man. 4 offensive rebounds. When you talk about Mitch, you got to highlight the offensive rebounds. 5 defensive rebounds. Now that's a good sign when you have more defensive rebounds than offensive rebounds for Mitch, because even though Mitch is an incredible offensive rebounder, for whatever reason, defensive rebounds elude him a little bit. But that's a good effort. He finished with 9. And altogether 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal in 18 minutes of play. What more could you ask, man? That looked pretty good. I mean, the only thing that I would say I would like to see is I want him to be in that consistent level, because I think that helps him with what he's trying to do as far as becoming on the first team all defense. If he can get those blocks consistently around 1 or 2 a game, maybe more closer to 2 a game, I think that'll definitely help his case, because if you can average 2 a game, that's more of an elite standing in the NBA, and I think that'll help him get on one of them all defensive teams like he hopes to be on one day. So Sam, what do you think about Mitchell Robinson's game?
I kind of hinted on it earlier, but with Mitch, 2 things that stood out to me already: conditioning and free throw shooting. Mitch, if you guys haven't noticed, like he's not winded at all now. We know that we talked about that last season with that being an issue with him balancing his weight out and just looking drained on the court at times. And, so far it looks like his conditioning is on par. I remember him hinting at it in his interview saying, he's been working at trying to get around 70 to 80 percentile in that free throw, and also working on conditioning. He's been hitting the track apparently all summer. So those are things to look out for with Mitch. We all know that he's basically top of the league. If you want to talk about offensive rebounder, shot blocker, he's up there. He's top 5 for sure. So, I mean, things like that, if Mitch can improve his free throw shooting, like he said, he wants to get 70 to 80. If he does that, that's amazing compared to what he's been career-wise. So that and just him being in shape and being available for the whole season would be great moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Right.
What do you think, Jay Boogie, about Mitch? I know that's one of your guys.
Block net monster, money Mitch. Yeah, man, I like what Mitch is doing. He bring it to the table. That's our backbone. That's the one that holds everybody down. You know what I'm saying? When you slip up and somebody, gets by you, that's the one that holds everybody down. And right now, Mitch is looking real good, man. I believe he's gonna continue on looking good. Last year, he looked good last year, adjusting, into the, the new weight that he had, that he turned into more of the muscles. This is year 2 of him inside that same weight and everything. I like what Mitch is doing, man. Great. He's great on the boards. He's great at altering shots. He's great on the offensive rebounding and everything, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, if he could continue on knocking free throws down, that means you ain't got to take them off the floor in game time crucial when they trying to foul up under 1 minute. If that rule is still in effect, you can keep them on the floor, to defend it, and rebound the ball, So I like what Mitch is doing right there. He looked like he's happy with himself. He got his contract, He looks like he's happy about being here. He's feeling good. He's in spirits. I can't remember exactly who it was, but somebody spoke about it. I believe it was Worldwide L saying how before, that they thought him and Julius had a situation, but he was able to go on and say that, he went and worked out with Julius down in Dallas with him this year, you know what I'm saying? So it looks like everybody's making amends, man. Everybody got something they want to prove, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell when he's playing good when I see him constantly on rumor trades, Charlotte, the Phoenix, all over the place. So that means people want you. So when people want you, that means you're doing a whole lot right. But I need you to continue doing what's right with the New York Knicks. Unless, don't tell them I said, unless something majorly come about, then, we might have to do something.
Right. Yeah. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So welcome, Nev, to the show. Always good to see you, Nev. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Well, now that we got like 5 people in here giving our breaks down, let's keep them a little more brief because we want to get to everybody. But definitely, Nev, let me insert you right here, and you can get off what you feel about Mitch. And if you want to real quick, like talk about, what you thought of the game so you can get your point out, by all means, brother. But good to see you.
The game was fine to me. I love what I saw last night. Even though we had some struggles, I think we overcame them. So I tend not to be very critical in preseason. I don't really give too much. I look for patterns, basically. Good patterns or bad patterns, negative pattern or positive pattern. That's what I tend to pay attention more to. And what I've seen so far, I mean, there's not much to complain about, because the coach is playing everybody. He's giving Cam, some of these players, a chance to prove that they can play in the game. So there's not much for me to complain about. Julius, I really don't. I really don't. I am more concerned of what's going to happen in the future than happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying to say there, first, like last night, first they cheer Obi, then they're going to boo Julius, and I'm more concerned about that. If I've been saying that, I've been saying this thing all off season. The coach has to put Obi in the starting lineup just to insulate Julius. If that doesn't happen, at some point the ball is going to start and it's going to be hard to stop. So that's one reason. Beside Obi being the most talented player on the team, that's one reason he should put Obi in the starting lineup. Because I believe the minute he puts Obi in the starting lineup, it's like everything going to fall into place. You know, Julius can play his game, and I think he's starting to sense there's a pressure coming, and maybe that's why pressing a lot, because he has to prove to the fans that he deserves to be cheered, he deserves to be loved, he deserves to be appreciated because of the situation of what he said to the fans last time. So he has something to prove. So I'm more concerned about that. But otherwise, I really don't pay much attention to win-loss losses and stuff like that. I'm more looking for patterns. I like the way he play deuce, stuff like that. I see, and that's what I'm into right about now.
Okay. So were you happy with what you saw from Mitchell Robinson last night?
Oh, definitely. My only concern with Mitchell Robinson is I want to see him use a pump fake when he gets offensive rebounds. I want to see him utilize more of a pump fake. He goes straight up all the time, and mostly everybody knows that. Utilize a pump fake and then dunk it on somebody and stuff like that. I want to see him able to do that more, use more, a little more, intuitiveness. Don't try to go straight up and try to read what's happening in that situation. If you can overpower a smaller guy, if you have two big guys around you, use the pump fake. Stuff like that. What's happening in the game?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. D, what'd you think about what you saw from Mitch last night?
Yeah, I'll get into Mitch in a sec. I want to say something that Nev said that I thought was very important, was that the fans have to smarten up a little bit about cheering Obi and booing Randle. There should be none of that going on. If you love Obi, that's all well and good. But Obi put it down Randle in the process as well. I just don't think that's good for the team. I don't think that's good for the fandom as well. So
it's not good for the team, but it's really the coach has to insulate Randle. And I don't think he's trying to do a good job. Like I said, if for whatever reason he doesn't want to play them together, and not playing them together is the problem. He has to play those two guys together to minimize the pressure on Randolph, because Randolph's like a typical example. Like Randolph seeing Obi, playing so well, it puts a burden on him. It's going to put a burden on him when he goes out there to play well.
Right.
If he has to follow Obi, that's going to put a burden on it, and that pressure is going to increase.
Well, Nev, the only thing before you get back to what you were going to say, D, I just don't think that as a player, I don't think Randle cares how other guys are playing when he knows what he can do on the court. Now, last year, don't get me wrong, for whatever reason, last year was a different Julius Randle, and everything bothered him. Especially, what the fans did, it just opened something up in him, whatever it was, and it put him in a bad mental state. So once that happened, everything bothered him, right? But normally, Julius has been a player. He's been in different teams. He's seen guys on the team have been better than him. That's not something that I think really can affect him. The issue, which is what we all saw last night too, is that if Obi gets it going, the fans love Obi. You think the fans love RJ, which they do. They love Obi too. If Obi gives them anything, they love Obi. And I thought, as much as I liked it, I was also feeling a certain way, to be honest with you. When Obi was doing his thing and the fans started chanting Obi, I don't know. I was like, I didn't like it, to be honest with you. It's good, but I just don't like where this Knick team is. I don't think it really helps the Obi Randle dynamic. I don't think it I don't know. It's just tough because you don't hear them doing it for anybody else. You know, it's an Obi thing. I don't know. It's tough to feel too crazy about it because, you know, Obi also gives us an energy that nobody on that team can give us. So he deserves this type of stuff. He deserves this praise. It's just with everything we've gone through from last year to this year, you just want us to all be as one team on an even keel. Praise Obi, but don't, like D said, don't throw it in Randle's face because right now, Randle hasn't done anything to warrant it. So far this year,
Correct.
It doesn't make sense to do that. And to the people, Nev, you included, sorry, to the people that think Obi should be starting, I don't agree.
No.
I think Obi is right where he needs to be. I think Obi impacts change on this team incredibly because when he comes in with that second unit, it's not the same level of pressure as is when you're in, you know, in the starting lineup going up against starting caliber defenders. Plus, that second unit is running. You know, the first unit is trying to run, the second unit runs. So I just like the dynamic of him playing with that second unit better. And I think Obi benefits from having Quickly out there with him, Rose, and even Deuce, what he's been doing. They get up and down the court. I just think that benefits his game better. But, you know, we'll see.
And I want just one more point about that is that I think it's very important for Tom Thibodeau to mix his chemicals, to experiment, put on his lab jacket, get inside the lab, and start experimenting with these chemicals to see what works. So we definitely want to see an Obi and Julius tandem 4 or 5 minutes of game time just to see how it works, just to see how it looks. Because Tommy Beers went and blasted all that stuff and put that they're a positive 3.5 or 4.3 like that together in the short minutes they played. So why would you not give it a try? It's a little strange. So maybe certain decisions that the coaching staff is making may be revving up the fandom to act that way as well, right? Something to think about. But anyway, So Mitchell Robinson, look, you saw last night and you saw the first game why Mitchell Robinson got paid $15 million. Okay, and it's not because of his explosive offensive array of low post moves and a mid-range jumper. It's because in the interior, he's a monster. He's just an animal down there. He covers up so much crap, right? There was a lot of blow-bys last night, and Mitch just altered shots, bro. Just his presence being there made guys kick the ball out to the corners on swing passes and stuff like that. They had to do it because Mitch is not having that. I love that Mitch steal that he had on, who was it? I think it was Miles Turner. We was trying to cross him up. He stole the ball from him, started the transition, even when the Knicks didn't capitalize on that transition. But the play before that, he got the offensive rebound off the Cam miss. He actually got the ball sometimes in the third quarter, and you see it yielded great results. They actually looked for him on a lob threat. They were running a pistol action on the right side, and they ran the lob threat for him. I love to see it. It should be like that every possession because Mitch is a lob threat every possession. So I don't understand why they only go to that sometimes. I think it should be a staple of their offense because it's going to clog the middle and cause it to collapse. And therefore, now you got your lanes and you got your open shots. So I love to see that more. I thought Mitch was good as usual. I like to see the 9 rebounds. Okay, that's a nice uptick. I like to see that double-double, him flirting with that and him going a bit over that. I think that's something he needs to do this year. But that also depends on his ball usage as well. You notice when Mitch sees the ball, you see a different Mitch out there. All of a sudden, he's playing perimeter defense. He's switching on pick-and-roll ball handlers. And so if I know that, I know, okay, I want to get this guy getting off early. I'm going to run some sets for him. We're going to run some nice dives for him. We're going to run some nice lob sets for him and stuff like that and do that. So I would like to see that more. But I thought Mitch was very nice yesterday, and he earned that $15 million, by the way.
I could agree with that.
You know, let him touch the ball, feel the ball. You know, shout out to my man JJ. He know what I'm talking about because we went to the same high school. You know, my center name was Dwayne Carswell. He played in the NBA. He played for the Philadelphia 76ers. He played for the Temple Owls in college. But when he first came to our high school, which is Benjamin Cardozo, he was straight trash. I mean, garbage, man, completely. You know what I'm saying? So, but when the coach put him in the starting lineup, you give him passes, can't catch the ball. He fumbled the ball, he turned the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Coach used to tell me, and I used to tell him, he can't do nothing. So what? Give him the ball sometimes because he's going to continue on rebounding for you. Give him the ball and let you know that you appreciate him being in that paint. You appreciate him clogging it up. You appreciate him rebounding. You appreciate him backing you up when you get beat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, continue on giving Money Mitch that ball. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only going to continue on making him happy, and he's going to get more familiar and more comfortable and more relaxed with receiving the ball. You know, he's unrelaxed with touching the ball because he hasn't been doing that throughout his whole season. Now you got a point guard that's going to help, and other guys need to continue on help making him touch the ball because the more comfortable he can get, the more dominant he can get, the more, you know what I'm saying, examples he can set on the offensive end for. And we need everybody collective, man. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, let's get through the rest of these guys. Because I want to get your takes on a couple of things. Plus, there's something I want to talk about that I think is a little bit more serious, but I think it needs to be addressed. And so, being that I have a platform to do so, I will try my best to address it. Jalen Brunson. Okay, my guy Jalen, man. The equalizer. The new X factor for the Knicks. Not really an X factor because he's set that big of a role, but I just think he's the new everything for this Knicks. He is what I felt Derrick Rose was, because I still think Derrick Rose is a stabilizer, but now I feel like Jalen Brunson is the stabilizer of the team. Yeah. So he was 4 of 12 from the field. Like I said, he didn't have the greatest offensive night last night, should I say. And he only took 1 3. He was 0 of 1 from 3, but he was 9 of 9 from his from the free throw line. He knocked those down. He had one rebound and 4 assists. And that equated to 17 points. And he also had 1 steal in 22 minutes. So once again, it's also a situation where you can see, if you're just looking at numbers, 17 points, 4 assists, you'd like the assist number to be around 5 or 6, but whatever. 17 points, 4 assists in a bad shooting night. Now that's solid. From a Jalen Brunson, that shows you something, because the guy didn't really have the shot going, but he knocked down his free throws. That's how you continue to put points on the board and help your team, because even if you're struggling from the field, when you get the charity stripe and you get them free throws, you knock them down. So he's just a stabilizing. That's like I don't know how to even say it any more than that's obvious to you. When something bad is happening on one end, you do something on the other end. That's a positive, and that's why you're an even-keeled player. That's why he's so solid. And that's why the Knicks need him, for real. And that's in 22 minutes of play. So, Sam.
Yeah, so I'm here. So yeah,
all right, what you think about Jalen?
I don't know. I thought you left me with a cliffhanger for a second.
No. I was just seeing. You know what it is? Because I haven't heard from you in a while. I was like, I don't want to just call on Sam and Sam ain't there. Let me see if Sam's there.
Yeah. No. So with Brunson, we see just there's levels to this as far as just point guards in the league, and like we saw the difference even when we had Brunson out there from when we had IQ running the offense, where it's like, oh man, 3 seconds left in the shot clock, we have to throw up some garbage, versus, okay, let's get everybody set up on offense when Brunson's in there, and let's run some plays, and let's get some guys open. The ball movement is there. And when he attacks, it's crazy because, like, we talk about it all the time, but Brunson's only 6'1". And there was that one hustle play that he had that I really liked, even though he missed it, where he was able to get the steal off the guy who was throwing it out of bounds. And then he made a great move on Miles Turner and drew the foul. Like, that was something that we haven't seen in a while from any point guard that we have on this team who can just attack like that, especially a shot blocker of Miles Turner's caliber with no fear at all. So, I mean, he showed you that, even if the shot is not there, he's going to give us points and he's going to impact the game in other ways, which is something we haven't seen from a point guard in a very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Jay Boogs, what'd you think about my man Jalen Brunson?
Man, listen to the bar. I'm talking to all your East guards. I brought Jalen from the West. Now he's an East guard. Yo, I'm rocking with this dude. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the deodorant armpit that he came out from under, Jason Kidd. You know, he got real knowledge of how to be a point guard last year. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna turn down this money. We're gonna get you some more money. And you're gonna get your own team. This guy's a general on the floor, man, with no weaknesses as far as heart. And I take heart and skills over athletic skills any day. Because you're athletic don't mean you're going to develop. But when you got heart, you got that will and determination, you know what I'm saying, to you know what I'm saying, to overcome something, you know what I mean? He ain't got to go to see the Wizard of Oz and get no heart. You know what I'm saying? He ready to go and he locked in. I love everything that he's doing, man. And he got a community that he's gonna hold you accountable. He's gonna hold you accountable for your actions, as well as he can take criticism too if you come at him. He's on what we call on the yard. I'm on man time. That's what he's on. He's on man time, you know. A man child inside our building that's going, you know, that's here. You know, all the naysayers and don't like his height. He 5'4". He can't get on no rides at the fair and all this, that, joking. You know what I'm saying? Paying him too much money. He don't deserve this. He deserve that. You know, keep feeling like that. Keep feeling like that, man. I love seeing him in that Rod Strickland jersey, man. I love seeing him handling the rock, bringing the ball up court, setting the tone at his own pace. You know what I'm saying? And when they do run, they move the ball. I love when Deuce hit that tray in the left corner on the fourth pass around the perimeter. I don't see that unless it's Golden State or unless it was San Antonio Spurs. That looks good. That means ball movement. And that's all because of Jalen Brunson, man. You got to move the ball, share the ball, and be willing, you know what I'm saying? If you average 18 points, you score 5 points. But somebody that you think they ain't going to score can knock down a shot. You got to be willing to move the ball around and everything. So that's the demeanor that Jalen has for us, man. And if everybody continue on following suit, man, we can do some good things this year, you know what I'm saying? Do I think we're going to go get a championship? No, but he's a tough-minded guard that can help, you know what I'm saying, get you up out in the East if he got the right pieces and the people that want to play with him and going to go hard just like he going to give it to you, because he's not never going to cheat Madison Square Garden. He's never going to cheat the fan. He's not going to never cheat the game, man. He's going to give it to you all the way hard, man. I've been seeing him do that since the Villanova Wildcat, a two-time champion over there in college. Now, I would love to see him lead us, you know what I'm saying, down that parade. Where's going to be Broadway? I'm on it, man.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Yeah, man. That's the truth, man. I mean, he's just a solid ball player, man. We've been waiting for this guy to be here, so let's appreciate him while he's here, man, because he's a wake-up call for this team, a breath of fresh air for real. Mm-hmm. Shout out to, before we get to Nev, shout out to D Coolest 718. Thank you for being here. Kerry Cooper's in the building. Salute.
Kerry.
I don't have to shout out Nev because he's here. Dripmore's in the building. Still Knicks fans barber, aficionado. Salute to Dripmore. Kevin Middleton is here. What's good? Eddie F is in the building. Salute. And we got 112 people in here watching, guys. We only got 60 likes. Hit that like button, yo. Don't worry. I ain't gonna keep going with the show until y'all do that. I'll wait. Anyway, man, definitely smash that like button, y'all. I appreciate it. Listen, I know I'm gonna start making a bigger deal about it. You know why? Because unfortunately, YouTube is it's a funky thing, man. Y'all think that the show is something that you like to support. I appreciate y'all. I'm worried about YouTube supporting, because when YouTube sees them numbers dipping, you start to slowly drop, you know, where I'm not in the algorithm no more. They ain't checking for y'all don't got love for John and Ron and Jose no more.
What you done for me lately type of attitude.
I'm like, yo, come on, man. Anyway, yeah, man, smash that like button, man.
Please.
Y'all don't got love for Death Row? Oh, anyway, all right.
Oh man.
Nev, what you think about Jalen Brunson, brother?
Jalen Brunson is what you call a professional point guard. I mean, he's going to be in every critical play we make, every critical game and every critical play. He's going to be there. He's going
Yes.
to influence that that decision making. So and you can see there's a big like a drop when Quickly is running the point, when Jalen Brunson is running the point. I get there are times when I'm shouting at Quickly to pass the ball, and I don't have to do that with Jalen Brunson. I don't have to ask him to, because he sees the guy. He anticipates where the guy is going to be. Well, at the time where a lot of times I'm saying Quickly, how come you're not seeing this play? How come you holding on to the ball? It frustrates me a lot, because there are times where Quickly can make a simple pass to give a guy a shot, and he doesn't do it. And and that frustrates me. And with Jalen Brunson, I don't get frustrated. I don't have to say pass the ball. You know, I don't have to say pass and shoot. He knows when to pass and shoot. He has that intuitive sense. Where Quickly seems to be, it's still lagging. I feel like, dude, you keep missing open guys. So
Sure.
this is there's a major level of professionalism coming out on Jalen Brunson. You just know he's going to make the right play, and that's what you can ask. That's what you can ask your point guard to do, to make the right play. See the guys open. Put even though you are score, which Jalen Brunson is, he still put passing ahead of scoring, which I think Quickly hasn't done that. Quickly is scoring first. He has a scores mentality. He doesn't have a passing mentality. You can still be a great scorer, but the passing supposed to be first. Because if you're a point guard, you want to set up people. And I think that's where Quickly is that's the point he's missing. Think pass first. Let the shot come later. When you cannot pass the ball is still in your hands. You still can make plays. But don't miss an open guy just because you're looking for your shot. And that's my frustration of Quickly right there.
We would talk about Brunson though.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, there's not much you can say about Brunson, because the guy he does everything right. He makes the right plays. He sees the guys, and he scores when it's necessary. It doesn't feel forced when he's scoring. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to make that comparison, to see if it's easier.
Right.
I see. All right. Shout out to Marvin Smith in the chat. Appreciate you. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. All right. Listen. Before I get to D, let me just where is it? I started somewhere because I knew I was going to get back to it. Yes. John from Still Knick Fans. I've heard of this guy. He said, Nev, appreciate you for jumping on the show with Ron. I don't quite agree with your take, but it's cool. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Now, this is the thing. This is, like I said, it's not for you, Nev. I'm saying this for people specifically who are kind of thinking more about the Obi Randle thing. Once again, it doesn't matter if Obi is starting or not, as long as he gets the minutes to be effective. He don't have to start. As long as we got him in there and he's doing what he's got to do. Now, you could say that if Obi plays well throughout a game, when it comes to the fourth quarter and we need somebody out there, maybe Obi should be out there. That's okay. That's a fair point. But it doesn't mean that he has to be in the starting lineup. He really doesn't. As long as he continues to play the way he is playing, I'm not saying we're going to see 24 points in 20 minutes all the time, but if he continues to play the way he's playing, he don't have to start. And Julius is only going to see. The other thing that I worry about Julius, and I wanted to get back to this with the whole booing thing, because remember, these are preseason games, and Knicks fans are Knicks fans. Some of them are crazy. They're wild with it. So it's only a matter of time because that's what people think. They always want to replace somebody. If Julius struggles and has a couple bad games and say Obi's hot at that time, them Obi chants are for Obi, and he deserves them when he's out there doing his thing. But then them Obi chants start to come into Julius's game. When Julius is on the floor sucking it up, next thing you know, Obi, like that's the stuff I'm worried about, because Obi may not even be on the floor and they chanting Obi while Julius is doing something. I don't want to see that. That was last year. This is this year. Clean slate. Remember Leon said it. Let's take it into account. Let's give everybody a clean slate and go from there. All right,
Ron,
my bad.
Ron, I gotta disagree with you.
So you don't agree that we should give everybody a clean slate?
No, clean slate.
You don't agree that Julius Randle, technically skillful wise, is better than Obi?
No, I don't.
Wow.
I don't agree with that. I think, like I said, I think Obi is our best player, and when you don't have your best player coming off the bench. That's a no. No, nobody in the league would put their best player off the bench. That's basically what we're doing. Obi is a guy that's going to shoot 70% from the field almost every night. From the field, not foul shots, from the field, around 70%. You got to put this guy in the starting lineup, and you deal with the growing pains of him, whatever his lack of what defense, he missing assignment. Deal with it, but you got to put him in the line. As long Obi is not in the starting lineup, the Knicks going to have an issue keeping Julius Randle on this team. That's it, point blank. That's how I see this thing, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Last night they cheer Obi. The next thing that's going to happen, they're going to boo Julius. That's the next step.
That's true. I don't fault you in that.
That could happen without a doubt.
That's true. Happen. If the coach continues to do what he's doing, there is a position, a small forward position. Put Obi in there and live with the consequences. Your team is going to be so much better for that. That's what he needs to do.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, like D said before, why not give it a try here and there? Just don't be closed off to it. Thibodeau should try to experiment, when he sees fit, when he thinks there's a good moment to try it, but don't just say, I'm not going to do it. Be open to it. And I'm sure D can elaborate more if he wants to, but yeah, that's all I was saying. That's how I feel. And what you're saying, Nev, is very true. I don't put it past people to start booing Randle just for the sake of booing him. I know you are right with that. That's why I said what I said, because I could see it coming too, because that's how fans get. Fans always want what looks good to them, and they throw out. It's usually the new young player, and they throw out the old veteran player. Now, Julius is not old like that, but you know what I mean? That's kind of how things work in all of sports. But we'll see. D, what was your thoughts on Jalen, as well as what do you think about this?
Sam already knows where I'm going.
Yeah, well, before you even, I'm sorry. This is just not. Okay. Did I just hear Obi is the best on the team? I just wanted to get. You think he's the best? So you said all of that. You just gave Brunson 20 million flowers, and you said Obi is the best player. Okay.
Well, Sam was going where I was going.
Yeah, go ahead, D.
And Nev, I mean this in total humbleness. That
all respect.
I have to heavily disagree that Obi's our best player on this team. Without it, Obi hasn't proven enough through a consistent minutes, and that may have to do with the coaching staff, but we still haven't seen that in order to declare him that thing. I don't think he's better than Jalen Brunson, no way, no how. And I don't think he's better than Julius Randle at this moment in time. Do I think that Obi might be a better fit? Yeah, we can talk that, but a better player overall, accolades, what they've done throughout the years? No way. So, but that's cool, bro. You're entitled to yours, and that's no problem.
We will see. I'm pretty sure around the 10th game, there will be absolutely about no question. About 10th game into the season, 10th to 15 games into the season, there will be absolutely no question that this kid is our best player.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, Nev. From your lips to God's ears, we'll see what happens. But D, I just want to say this real quick, Nev. I agree with you that Obi is a really good player on this Knicks team. If he gets the opportunity, he can continue to show what he's worked on and where his game is going. But remember, there's things that could affect how Obi plays on this Knicks team. For example, Obi got 4 or 5 leak outs yesterday. A better coach team.
Oh yeah, they ain't letting that happen.
They ain't letting Obi leak out and get these fast break dunks. That's like, and we said 4 or 5. I think it was 4 actually. That's 8 points right there. 8 points off of his 24. That brings him down to 16. Right. Obi was hot from 3. It was 4 of 7. Obi misses a couple threes. Then that number goes down again. Easily, his scoring output could have changed with a different defensive mindset. All I'm saying, and from that, I need to see what else Obi's worked on. If you give Obi the ball in the block. The other day in the game against Detroit, was it Detroit? I don't know. I'm confusing them. But I did see Obi got the ball on the wing, and he dribbled it to the rim and laid it up off the glass. That was a great sign. Those are good things. He's got to continue to do that because people are going to take away what he likes to do.
Yeah,
my fault. Go ahead,
without a doubt. That was a great point. And another thing, too, is that we haven't seen Obi play against primetime starting units in order to make such a declaration. Potentially, it looks like these things, and there are potentials and glimpses that it does look like that. But concrete is concrete. And I got to see Obi Toppin do this night in and night out against first units, at least through a half a season, with at least 25 to 30 minutes a game in order to declare such a thing.
Let me tell you why it looks like licking out to you because Obi has track like speed. The guy is probably the fastest guy in the NBA.
Wonderful.
So even though he would start at the same point with just any player, he's going to beat just about any player down the court. The only player I have seen that's able to maybe keep up is Ja Morant, speed-wise. That's probably the fastest guy I've seen in the league. But I don't see anybody keeping up with Obi. The guy has track-like speed. So he's going to get 4 or 5 of those things, regardless of who he's playing. It doesn't matter because he's going to just beat everybody down the court. You know, he can start the same level with just about any player in the Miami team, and he will beat them down the court. Any player in Boston team, he will beat them down the court because he has track-like speed. You know, and I think we tend to think it's because he's leaking out. I mean, if he starts with any body, he's literally going to beat them down the court. It looks a lot of times it looks like leak out because when he makes his mind to run, you know, there's hardly anybody in the league that keep up with him. You know, so a lot of times it looks like he's leaking out, but it's just that he goes from offense to defense quicker than most anybody because he has track-like speed.
Without a doubt. Yeah, he's definitely one of the fastest bigs of the league north to south, without a doubt. But to say that NBA defenses can adapt to the speed of Obi Toppin, I think that's a little far-fetched.
I mean, because all you got to do, listen, it's any sport that plays that way. I'm just throwing this out. I'm not intentionally trying to go against what you're saying, Nev. I'm just saying there's a defense for every offense. Okay. And so it's just like in football. I played, cornerback. Not great, but I was all right. I used my height, but whatever. Anyway, I played cornerback, and what I would do is when I know that my assignment is a faster guy, and usually I was helping out, my guy wasn't beating me, I had to anticipate. So if I see the guy I see he's about to make his move, I have to cheat. I have to start getting out there. So that way, it doesn't matter if he's faster than me. As long as I cheat, I'm right there with him. Now, if we was starting at the same point, he's got me. But as long as you start ahead of the guy, it doesn't matter. You can counter that. And that's what NBA teams who are thinking that the Knicks are not they're not a quick pace team. They're not really a transition fast break team, and all they really get when it comes to that stuff is maybe the efforts of Quickly and definitely Obi. You try to take that away from them. You say, hey, my point guard, who is fast, it could be anybody, it could be whoever has decent speed, because most point guards in the league are faster than power forwards, small forwards, and bigs. They start to anticipate. So when they see the ball go up on the rim, they're looking for Obi. I'm starting to move. So that way, all you got to do is be in front of Obi so he doesn't have a free lane to the basket. And that kind of helps take that play away. I'm not saying it'll stop it completely because Obi might lay it up, but you defend it better that way. That's all I was trying to get at. But I hear you, though. He is one of the fastest.
Let me make this other analogy.
Oh, no.
The Minnesota Vikings had a receiver that was he's a Hall of Fame receiver. I can't remember his name.
Randy Moss?
That's right. And guys used to play 20 yards of him. 20 yards of him. And how many touchdowns he got against, when he went to the Patriots? 20 yards.
Right. But the difference there, I know where you're going, but I was just going to say the difference there is not only was Randy Moss one of the fastest players in the league, he also had great height and great leaping ability. That's why there was a term phrased because of him. Like when in football players today, or especially young players, they say, oh, you got mossed. That's because a guy can go up and catch the ball and, come down with it with one hand and do all types of crazy stuff. Moss did everything. So it's hard to stop a guy like that because of his height as well as his speed, because he could jump over you and catch the ball, even if you're right there with him. But continue.
Yeah, the real analogy I was trying to make is that when you have to worry about a guy, you playing offense, and you have to worry about a guy beating you down the court, that means it takes you away from concentrating on offense. So the mere fact somebody has to worry about Obi leaking out or what looks like leak out, that is distracting that player from actually concentrating on offense. That's another advantage you have with a guy like Obi. Yeah, that is similar to Randy Moss, because you have to worry about, hey, if I'm deep enough, is he going to bowl by me? So you got to play deeper. So a guy like Randy Moss can catch 20 yards in front of just about anybody, and as long as he wants. So it gives you there are plenty of advantages that come with that kind of, when you have to be so concerned about a guy with his speed, taking off and so forth. The same dynamic is happening in basketball. If they have to worry about Obi getting an offense, a dunk on the opposite side, that player he cannot put his full concentration on the offensive side, because he has to actually worried about the defensive side even when he's playing offense.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's fair. No, I look, like I said, I understand the pressure that he puts on the opposing team and how it works for the Knicks, and he's good at doing it. So I give Obi plenty of credit for that, and I know you appreciate him for that and what he can bring to the team. And it's tough to stop. I will agree. It can be stopped though, and I'm just saying, we got to see more from Obi as an offensive player, especially, and I'm only saying this because of the fact that you said that he is our best talent on the floor. Right. So he's got to show us more before we can crown him that. I got to see him do other things before I can say that. Back to D, because I know D was going to talk. My bad, brother.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk about Obi Toppin. But to Jalen real quick, and I'll be quick because we do have other players to get to. Look, I talked about Jalen Brunson since July. He is the guy that we've been needing for the last 30 or 40 years as far as intangibles, culture. I've said the whole thing a million times. It doesn't shock me that he has a bad shooting night, which he won't have too many of those. And he's still 9-9 from the free throw line. He's still coordinating the offense beautifully. You know what I'm saying? He still has 4 assists, 0 turnovers. Could have been more assists. A lot of guys missed some open shots as well. So Jalen is absolutely much needed. As I said, Jalen is a pillar. If there's any championship type of what's the word I'm looking for? Projection moving forward, Jalen Brunson has to be a part of that pillar system. That 3 pillars, 4 pillars of guys in order to get that train going. So I'm not surprised at all. I already know what Jalen was, and you guys are going to see this throughout the whole season.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm with you on that. So let's kind of get through some of these quickly, so we can get into other topics before we get out of here, because there's some other stuff I want to cover. Cam Reddish. So, you know what? I'm gonna start it a little differently. Nev, what do you think about Cam Reddish?
I think right now we have to be willing to take some, just give him the opportunity and realize that he might not come through right now, but later on it will pay off. I think later on it will pay off. Just so right now he has a chance, and I think he's pressing right now. He's pressing because coming out from a sore whatever, I think it's sprained ankle or something like that. That must be a little bit painful, but he's, the opportunity is there, and he's trying to force his way. He's trying to force to play. So we gotta. I think one thing the coach can do is just temper down the pressure of having to be successful right now. Maybe just in his head, yo, you don't have to do everything. Just, give us defense, give us something. Try to minimize what he needs to do on the court. Because I think he's pressing because he knows the opportunities is right there. There's no Fournier, there's no Grimes, it's all me. I'm getting injured at the wrong time. So that whole dynamic is putting additional pressure on him. And I think the coach can alleviate that by just letting him know, hey, whatever you give us is fine. We know you're not 100%. It's okay. And I think that will go a long way in him performing better. But right now I think he's just pressing, and because he sees his opportunity, and it might not happen again because he has 2 other players ahead of him. Right. So so it might not happen. So
okay. All right, I'm gonna get to someone new real quick because I see he's in the Wheels of Steel. I'm gonna bring him in here in 2 seconds. Shout out to Wilson Dang. Appreciate you for tuning in as always, my brother. Long Island Sound 1 is in the building. My guy, so for real. That's right. Eric Surreal is in the building. Salute to you, brother. Danny Landis is in the building. What's good? What's good?
The plane, boss. The plane.
Right. And this other gentleman who I was just about to mention, but now he's here as well. Man. That's right. It's the Knicks, Mr. Ron Cleveland. What's going on,
Ron?
Brother?
Damn, looking all distinguished.
Man.
Wow.
What's going on, fellas?
It's good.
What's happening?
Hey, when the Knicks playing the way we playing right now, man, we can walk around any kind of way we want to.
Keep doing what they doing. You gonna bring that show back out?
hey, what they say, never say never, man. Hey, I never got rid of the equipment.
There you go.
You never know what the future holds. You know what I mean? But I tell y'all, man. Hey, hot dog, man. It can't be said enough, man. That point guard play, man, is where everything starts with this team, man. We got one. We got one, fellas. We got one, man. And Obi, I'm not gonna concentrate on what Obi ain't. I'm gonna concentrate on what he is, and from what I'm looking at from him, he's just a baller, man. That's all that kid. High energy, gonna bring something that nobody else on the team able to bring. You know what I mean? Is he the most fundamentally sound player on the team? No, but I'm gonna tell you, I think what I've seen the most from him this year is defensively. That guy has improved so much that it is shocking to even sit there and watch him. Because last year that guy used to be lost. You know what I mean? Obi's a problem, man. And them dunks he getting, if you letting him get dunks, you in trouble. You letting him get you, because that's what gets him going. And you saw that last night. Once he started getting them dunks, started feeling good, them J's started falling. But do I think he need to replace Julius? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Both them guys bring something the other one don't bring. And another thing about Julius that I like, but Julius, that boy is physical, man. He is physical, and what I'm liking that I'm seeing out of him, because Julius, truth be told, right now ain't shooting too well. But like last year, if Julius wasn't shooting good, you see his whole everything else be affected. But I watched that guy last night, didn't have a good shooting game, but yet he was playing hard on the defensive end. And that's all I can ask for from you, man. Don't go in a tank because your shot ain't falling. And that's for any player on this roster. I can't stand to see that. There's other things you can do to help the team win. You know what I mean? Case in point, look at Deuce McBride. Pretty much can't shoot to save his life. You know what I mean? But he going to bring it on the defensive end. He going to do what he can do to help the team win. And that's where we at, man, with this team, man. Do what you got to do to help the team win. And young RJ Barrett. That spot up is starting to look like it might be automatic. Don't leave him open. Do not leave him open. That wing three looked like it's starting to be automatic, fellas. I don't know if y'all peeping it, but it looked like in that corner, the corner in the wing looked like it's becoming pretty much automatic. Do not leave him open, man. It's things to love with this team right now, man. But the main thing, man, is everybody seem to be locked in, and that's what I like. It don't seem like there's no egos this year on this team, and that's the major thing. All that ego go out the door when you get knocked the way we got knocked last year.
Yep. No, I agree. Thank you, my man Ron Cleveland. Yes, I think that RJ is kind of showing us what he did 2 years ago when he really focused on knocking down them corner threes, and his form. He's coming into this year with that form corrected, and it looks right. The only issue with any NBA player, especially a young player, is continuing to do the same repetition when they're working on form and shooting. He just got to stay with it. And over a season, it's tough because, things start happening. You start to kind of revert back because it's just habitual. If he can keep that form going and square himself up, it could be a long season for the defenses. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, man. Shout out to Cormega in the building. S. Brooklyn is here. Appreciate you. My guy Ken is in the building, and Jean Marc is in the building. Salute to y'all. Appreciate all of y'all. So now that we got another special guest in the building on the panel, get him in here and see what his takes are. I'm gonna switch up the style a little bit because just for the sake of time, I want to get to a lot of different things. I'm going to bring it in a little differently. Everybody will still have their chance to comment on what we commented on, but I want to switch it up a little bit. So let me get my guy Josh in here. Josh in the building. What's good, Josh? AKA Uncle Julio.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
What's going on with your partner?
Hey, Josh, before you go, Josh, go Braves.
No, not quite. Yesterday was Darryl Strawberry. Today is Tom Seaver. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that win.
Hey, Josh.
Yes, sir.
I need you to make sure you come down to Atlanta and take care of my locker room, man. I need some janitorial work, man. The men come on down there and clean up my locker room, man. Hey, where JJ at? I ain't forgot about you, JJ. I told you about them Braves, boy.
No, man.
Never that, man.
Come on now.
Hey, and when DeGrom come to the Braves next year, y'all gonna be real sick.
Oh yeah,
that is gonna make me sick. I don't know if that happens. That's gonna make me sick. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Man, whatever, man.
Hey, I
whatever.
tell you this, Josh. I don't want to see y'all in no series though. I ain't gonna even front.
I know you don't. I know you don't. We still dangerous.
I don't want to see y'all as much as y'all don't want to see us. Them two teams is close. They're very close.
Yeah, separated by one game. So it came down to the wire. I got us. Y'all got us this season. But we coming for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we got a big game tonight, and we still got to win. I'm still confident. That's why I got my Tom Seaver on. But good afternoon, fellas. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Ron, D, Sam, Ron Cleveland looking like 007 over there. Boogie. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing, man? Good win last night. A good win last night. I just want to comment a little bit about Obi Toppin. I had a take yesterday on NBK that it's like lighting up Twitter and lighting up my inbox and everything. And I just kind of want to expand on it just a little bit. So my take is simply this. I think if Obi continues to play the way he's playing, the Knicks are going to have to find a new home for Julius Randle. Right. I know that's kind of different than where I was going with last year. and in the offseason. But now I think Obi Toppin is good enough, in my opinion, right? Based on everything that I've seen from him and how the offense works together, that there's no way you're maximizing the talent on your roster or maximizing the potential of your team if you have both of those guys there playing 24 minutes each, right? Not to mention, Tom Thibodeau's not going to play them 24 minutes each anyway. Randle's going to get at least 30 to 35 minutes, right? And that's going to limit Obi. Right? Obi's going to play 13 at that point, right? So I just don't think you're maximizing the potential of this team. I'm not knocking Julius Randle. I think he's still the best player on the team, in my opinion. Still the best player on the team. But when you look at the spacing on the floor, offensively, and how the team performs together as a unit, I think it's better if you have Obi out there playing with Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett that need to be inside the paint, as opposed to Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and RJ Barrett that the spacing is just off, in my opinion, right? It's kind of clumped up together. And I think for the offense, collectively, for our offense to improve, I think it's better to see Obi out there as opposed to Julius Randle. Not even knocking Julius Randle. I think he played well. I think he's been playing well the last 2 games. I think he's been doing what a lot of the fan base has been asking him to do, right? But I just think collectively as a unit, I think we need to start trending towards that direction if Obi continues to play this way. And forget about the stat sheet, forget about the 24 points, forget about those fast break dunks. I'm not even worried about that. Obi can average 12 to 15 points or 12 points or whatever, and I'd still be okay with that. This is not about Obi versus Randle individually. Together as a unit, I think they perform better with Obi on the floor. Just my opinion. I know that's very controversial, quote unquote, but that's just my take, and I'm going to stick with that until I see different.
But Josh, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you, man. It ain't about. I'm glad you say that. It ain't about these guys against each other. It's really about the fit, and the game do look better with Obi on the floor. And if he continue, I agree with you. The way he been playing, it looked like it's carrying over from last season, man. And you can't put him back. He's too good now to just have him martyred on the bench. He's too good now for that. You got to take him off that bench. He has to play. But hey, fellas, man, I got to run, man. Good to see y'all at this event with my daughter and stuff, man. Let's go Knicks, you heard me?
Take care,
man.
Fun,
good
bro.
to see you, Ron. Have a great event.
Sir. 007.
and I think what makes the conversation interesting now is that he looks better defensively.
Yeah.
He just does. The feet look better. The IQ looks better. He's in a chair now on the perimeter now. And he got beat a couple of times yesterday, but it just looks better. He came to recover to at least contest, something he wouldn't do last year. So I think so now if he goes on a tirade, for example, and say he has a couple of games of 16, 17, 18, something like that with the defense he's playing, now all of a sudden this stuff starts conjuring up again.
I agree. That's very true. Let me do this and we'll obviously you guys can talk about what you want to talk about. I'm put this back up real quick and just go through these numbers. So at least I gotta get these numbers out of the way. So, and what I want to do is feel free to jump in and talk about whoever, when I get to you, whoever of these guys you want to focus on. You can talk about all of them, but, so obviously we put Cam's numbers out there. So feel free if you want to say something about Cam and what you saw or what you think going forward about Cam. Emmanuel quickly was 5 for 12, 41% from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, 50%, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, which is great. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 17 points in total in 19 minutes of play. I think that's really good basketball from him. I think he looked a little better overall this game compared to the tale of two cities in the last game. I think he was a little bit better balanced. Isaiah Hartenstein was 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He didn't get to the free throw line. He did, however, have 1 offensive rebound, 5 defensive rebounds for 6 total, 1 assist. He had 2 turnovers, but he had no points. So he didn't take a lot of shots. I think he only took those 3 threes, which also account for his shots from the field. So I can't get on him. It's only 3 shots. But he just didn't really do as much offensively this time around, but he still helps this team. Now, some might also say that he didn't really impact that much defensively in this game. He got in, he got in some situations and he had some bad fouls. So it is what it is. I saw him chirping a little bit to the ref, but that's okay as long as he does it in a normal NBA chirp manner and he's not over the top. So it was okay, but you want to see him, and it's only the second preseason game, so give him some time.
Yeah.
Then
just a quick thing. I thought Sims had better minutes than Hartenstein yesterday.
I agree with you. I'm just going to go down the line, and then you guys can talk about, we can talk about whoever you want to focus on or however you. Let's see, Obi Toppin, 10 for 14, shot great from the field, 70%, 71% exactly. 4 of 7 from 3, 57%. That's incredible shooting, really good. Can't always expect that from any player, but when it happens, it's great. 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. 2 blocks is good because if Obi's getting blocks, that he's being active on the defensive end. So to everyone's point, these points specifically, when you say Obi looks better on defense, so far to start this preseason, he definitely does. He's showing a lot of effort. And 24 points in 20 minutes. I mean, what more can you say about that? Derrick Rose played 12 minutes. Last game, I think he played between 5 and 6 minutes, so double the minutes this time around. 2 of 3 from the field, 66%. It's weird because I thought I saw him shoot a 3, but I guess he was on the line or something because they didn't count it as a 3. Okay. 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 7 points total. Not bad for 12 minutes of play. Thibs is obviously bringing him along slowly. So, whatever works. And as long as we have him as a part of this team healthy, I'm happy. Because at some point, you're going to need Derrick Rose. Mark my words. Miles McBride was 2 for 7, 28% from the field. 2 for 3 from the three-point stripe, 66%. No free throws. 1 rebound, 3 assists. 2 blocks for Miles McBride.
A nice one on Ben Mathurin.
I saw that. Mm-hmm. That 6'10" wingspan. That's where it comes into play. In 21 minutes of play. So he looked a little bit more effective to me the last game around, but he wasn't terrible in this game. His shot just wasn't falling. Jericho Sims. It was nice to see Jericho get some burn. 2 for 2 from the field. No free throw attempts. 1 offensive rebound, 5 defensive for 6 total. He had 1 steal, 1 block, and he finished with 4 points in 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes of play. So Jericho looked really good considering this is his first game, on the floor with the team, and seeing how he was used. I thought, and you could already see, not for nothing, guys, Jericho looked different than last year. And there was certain instances where he was bringing the ball up the floor off the rebound. This is nice.
He was doing that in summer league as well.
I know, so that's why it's nice to see that it's translating. Really good, really good. And then just to round it out, guys, I mean, Ryan Archie. Let me see. How did he say it last night? Archidiakono. That's it. I'm gonna say it the way they said it.
Bro.
There you go, Ryan Archidiakono. 1 for 3 from the field, 33%, 33% from 3, 1 for 3. He had 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 3 points total in 8 minutes of play. And I'm not going to go through the whole Farron Hunt, Jalen Harris, Trevor Keels thing, but they played limited minutes. But I will mention my guy Svi Mikhailuk. 3 of 4 from the field, 75%. 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Wait, is that the charity stripe? Is that the 3-point line?
No, charity strike is the free throw line.
That's free throw line. My ball. I don't want to misuse that. I was like, something didn't sound right from the 3-point line. 2 for 3, 66%, and pretty much 8 points. And what was that? I guess that was a steal. He had 1 steal in 7 minutes of play. So it was extensive garbage time, but Svi can light that thing up, man. Svi can play as far as offensively. So that's what I was gonna say. That covers the guys and what they did out there, guys. So let me stop sharing this. But obviously, feel free to talk about any of those guys that was mentioned, and we will get into Obi a little bit more because of Josh's take, as well as what Nev said earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
So Sam, anything from that stood out to you from the rest of those guys' stat lines that you want to comment on?
I think with Mikhailuk off the bench, I mean, the shooting stroke is amazing. Like that guy, if you need a shooter off the bench, I'd say that the Knicks should probably look into keeping him around. Didn't see much out of Hunt, so I think he'll probably be designated again for G League duties. But Mikhailuk, he was a surprise for sure. Like I enjoyed watching him out there for the small amount of time he had. Like I said, Sims, it looked like he was a little bit laborsome on the hand. I don't know if he has an injury or not, but it was nice to see him kind of get out. Even you saw a couple times Sims kind of wanted to push the pace a little bit. And I was like, please give the ball up. But it's like he was, after the rebound, he wanted to dribble a little bit. So that was nice to see that he actually does have a little handle. We haven't seen much out of that. But, I mean, for the most part, for me with the bench unit, I was just happy to see them out there pushing transition like we talk about. They kind of pushed the pace a lot. And they separated themselves from just being the better unit from the Pacers. And we talked about it. Well, they talked about it. You know, the Pacers are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So you take it with a grain of salt, but it's still like you like to see the players for the Knicks show what they can do, even if it is against a worse defensive team as the Pacers.
Right. I would agree with that. And Paris Duggar, I see your super chat. I will get to it. Just want to let you know. Shout out to Infamous New King. Appreciate you. Did you guys shout out to Sherwin. Appreciate you as always. Sherwin, listen, I'm always happy to see you in the chat, man. You know, me and you go back and forth all the time because you think I love Obi and hate Randle, which I do not. I like both of these guys. I said it's Obi season for everybody, but that doesn't mean that I don't like Randle. Anyway, and shout out to IQJ. And also, did you guys know Adult Donkeys A Time for Turtles? Oh, well, anyway, shout out to him as well. Appreciate you for being here. So, that being said,
it's me as well. Shout out.
Oh, it's me. I didn't see you. My bad. It's me. Salute. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, as always. D.
Yeah.
What do you think about the rest of these guys? Anybody that stood out to you? And also shout out to Eru, who coined the phrase for Svi Mikhailuk, because even though physically he has good hops, he's got a good shot. He does have alligator arms. So shout out to Eru who coined the phrase alligator arms for Svi Mikhailuk.
Minus wingspan, damn. So.
Yeah. I think he's like 6. I think he's 6. Whatever he is, his wingspan is his height. Whatever it is.
He's like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be quick. We went through Jalen Brunson. Cam Reddish real quick. Look, I don't care if he's 1 for 7. I think it's just good that he plays. And I think it's just good that he creates some type of rhythm and synergy. On ball, defensively, a little suspect. He was good in the lanes yesterday. He did have about 4 or 5 deflections, and he had that nice steal in the backcourt. So that was encouraging to watch. It still looks a little lost on offense. Like he doesn't know whether he wants to go ISO or whether he wants to work through a team construct and stuff like that. So we have to wait and see what happens with him. Emmanuel Quickley, very simple. And I've said this for 2 years about Emmanuel Quickley. I want Emmanuel Quickley on kill mode. I don't want him facilitating my offense. I think he just takes way too long to make certain decisions. He chews too much of the shot clock out. He's got to make quicker decisions with the basketball. For that, I'd rather see Rose or Deuce or something of that nature, and maybe they could share that thing as far as initiating the offense. But Quickley was solid nonetheless. His defense was solid as well. Had a couple of misassignments, but overall, like his own ball, he got into the lanes. It wasn't bad. Isaiah Hartenstein, I understand he had 6 rebounds. I thought he was a nightmare yesterday. He looked lost on offense. He was getting beat in the paint. The guys were bodying him up, putting layups over him and stuff. He looked a little slow-footed out on the perimeter on some of the switches or trying to derail the penetration. So that was something to look at. Obi Toppin, Obi electrified the Garden yesterday, and Obi has improved on defense. 4 of 7 for 3. We're going to find out if that's sustainable with Obi Toppin. It is a wait-and-see thing. We want to see him play against first units and tougher lineups and see if he could do that same production. Derrick Rose was Derrick Rose yesterday. The only thing I can say about Derrick Rose and Jalen Brunson, you could see that the on-ball containment, the on-ball defense is lacking. And it's something that's going to become more apparent as the season goes because teams are going to attack that. So keep that in mind. But besides that, Derrick Rose was fantastic as usual. Miles McBride, defensively, solid. Shot 2 or 3 from 3. So we like to see that. I believe Deuce could be a decent catch and shoot shooter in this week when the minutes are played. His problem is shot creating and doing stuff off the dribble, which is weird because in West Virginia, that was one of his strengths. So he hasn't been able to adapt on the NBA level, or maybe he's kind of still caught like a deer in headlights. We have to wait and find out with him. But I don't know if we're going to see much more of Deuce, especially as the season is coming and when the season starts. I thought Jericho Sims looked a lot better than Isaiah Hartenstein yesterday. Love the fact he pushed up the ball. And this is the thing about Jericho that I think Isaiah doesn't have. I can easily switch pick-and-roll ball handlers with Jericho Sims, and he can contain them. And I think that's just a gigantic thing to have on your roster, especially how today's NBA is played. Everything is perimeter-based. Everything's motion offense. 80 to 85% of the offense is pick-and-roll. You need a guy like that with that type of versatility and switchability. I've always liked him. Ryan came in the game and he did his thing. You know what I mean? He threw you a little behind the back pass, look like some Bob Cousy stuff. He hit a three. He's good for the locker room. You can tell he's in guys' ears. He's always, I think he's a good guy to have on the roster, even if he doesn't take a play. And Savi, I had his name because I heard it, but then I forgot it now. But look, he looks solid, and he could shoot to a certain degree. If you look at his stats, it kind of tells a different story. But he could shoot. He would not be in this league if he couldn't. About him cracking his roster is a whole different story. We'll have to wait to find out. And I mean, Farron and Jalen, you know, we really didn't see anything to really make an assessment off that. But that's it for my player for play.
Muted.
My bad. I appreciate that. Sorry. Thank you, Josh. Takes one to know one, man. You know how it is. Yeah, I like that, D. Appreciate that. What I was saying is, yeah, what I like about Svi, guys, is I don't expect him to crack the rotation either. But in a situation where there's injuries and things happening, or what, you know, got back-to-back games where you're a little shorthanded because of whatever you need to do, he's a guy that you know you can bring him in and he's going to give you something. He may not be great, but he's better than bringing somebody who you drafted in the second round who hasn't played in the NBA, really doesn't know all of this stuff. He's a professional basketball player, and as far as when he gets love from his Europe teams and they give him, he really is comfortable. So I think he's just a good guy to bring in that can give you a little something. He's not shy, definitely ain't shy to shoot it. So. Yeah, that's good to have. To me, it just shows that the Knicks are a deep team once again, because you got guys that can come in and step in and just add something. It may not be everything you need, but it's better than just having a guy who just looks like they're lost out there. And I'm saying this as an example, but it's not fair to him because we've seen him play better. Like Farron Hunt last night looked lost. Like every time he came into I didn't know what he was doing. I don't think he knew what he was doing, and he didn't feel comfortable. He didn't look comfortable in his movement. But yeah, stuff like that. So look, guys, I want to get back into the Obi discussion real quick because of what Josh said and what Nev has mentioned earlier, just so we can kind of dissect it and get our takes on it. Before I do that, if you guys bear with me, let me just get this out, because it's really bothering me. And when something's bothering me, I want to address it. And like I said, I have a platform to do so. So why not? Give me a second. So, guys, if you're not aware, and those tuning in the chat, if you are unaware, some craziness happened in Dallas. A man lost a pickup basketball game to a 21-year-old Dallas woman. And after he returned to the park, he shot her 5 times, killing her. Wow. I think this is one of the most horrific things that I've heard associated with a basketball game of any sort. I cannot believe the cowardice and just the devil in somebody to, feel a certain way that you decided to play a basketball game against someone. She's a woman, whatever. You decided to play her, and if she beat you, your own dignity, your own self-respect, you felt like you couldn't take the loss, that you had to be a coward, a demon, and you had to go back and kill the young lady. I don't care if that young lady was telling you some of the worst things you've ever heard about your basketball game and letting you have it, and the rest of the world was there listening, and you were on national television and you felt embarrassed. You don't do something like that to any human being, let alone a woman that you feel embarrassed by. It just shows you the level. Some things don't change, guys. In life, we deal with racism, we deal with crazy, we deal with all types of stuff. There's demonology. There's all types of things that happen, and that stuff never goes away. And there's just certain people that just don't deserve to be on this earth. They don't deserve to breathe the same air as the rest of us humans, because no human decency whatsoever. That is one of the worst things I've ever heard. And I don't even know, I can't even fathom that it happened. It's just so disturbing to me, and I could not talk about it. If you guys want to, speak about it at all, by all means. I'm just saying, like, I could not bring it up because it's horrible. And I've seen this floating around the internet, and I just, and the other thing is, I follow, if you guys are familiar with Nisha Butler, who led, New York City at one point in scoring as the highest scoring person in high school basketball. She went on to Georgia Tech and then went on to the WNBA to play with the Liberty. She put it on her page, and this is crazy. And I'm throwing this out there because she was thanking people. She thanked everybody, whoever gave her a shot to play with the men, because whoever think this just by playing ball and showing that, you could beat somebody because you're a female, that someone would choose to shoot you or put bullets in you. I mean, it's just the craziest thing ever. So I'm sorry to hear about that loss. I don't know the young lady's name, but definitely deepest condolences to her family. That's just a horrible, friends and family, whoever knew her. That's just a horrible situation, and it's disgusting. I can't believe it. And they got the mugshot of this dude. It's just ridiculous, bro. I can't. It's horrible. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want to seem like this show is political or be on a soapbox, but certain things just can't stand for. It's ridiculous.
No, don't apologize. You had to do that.
Yeah. So I want to get back into the Obi talk. Like I said, I just wanted to put that out there real quick because certain things just can't. They don't rock.
Hey,
we can't live like that.
Hey, excuse me, bro. I'm gonna hop off. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, listening to that situation, it got me in my feelings a little bit. And I really don't like that type thing. Because these women that are born as daughters, that become sisters and aunts and mothers, they need a whole lot more respect to what they're getting. And just hearing that situation from a male to a woman, everybody knows the situation about my sister, about the guy that killed my sister. He's still at large. And when you listen to things like this, you just wonder what the hell is this world coming to? What are we doing as the people? Come on, man. So I just wanted to let just share that and let you know that's I'm like in my feelings right now. I can't go no more right now. But it's just that hurts. It hurts. It's sad. Especially over a game that we talk about every day. Us all day of basketball that does nothing. It does nothing but bounce, get caught, and go in a rim. It does three things. That's all it does. And we add something like that to it. Y'all have a blessed weekend, man.
Thank you for words,
man.
Boogie.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jay Boogie. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. And once again, I just like I felt the need to I can't not have this platform and have this show and not talk about something that disturbs me to that level. Sorry, and shout out to Jay Boogie. Obviously, I don't want to unearth anything that he's dealing with personally or anybody else out there. Unfortunately, it's just a very sad situation. And like I said, I just think it's something that, we can't be blind to certain things. Listen, basketball is a fun game. We love the game, but when real stuff happens, when crazy stuff happens that just doesn't sit right, it's not something that we shouldn't dismiss it. We all should be aware of it. Whether or not we choose to talk about it and make a bigger deal about it, that's another thing. But we should all be aware of it and understand that this is a crazy world, crazy time we're living in, man. Right. So yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to change the show. I know we was on a high, and my whole thing is I was trying to figure out when should I do this. I could have just did it later when the show was about to wrap up, but I also don't want to wait until people start jumping off when they think the show is ending. I want to be able to say this to all of everybody who's out there watching, because listen, this is life, man. This is, you got to know what's going on, and some things are just crazy, man. So all right, guys, I apologize once again. So let's go from there and get back into Obi talk as far as what Josh said and what Nev was saying. I'm on the fence about it because I think that Obi really works well with that second unit. I think even in Obi's after game press conference, he talked about everybody being comfortable with each other. I mean, pretty much the only guys you have to get accustomed is Brunson and Hartenstein, but everybody else has been playing with each other for the past few years, and so they have a level of comfort. And I think he feels really good in his role. Do I think he can benefit the team as a starter? Yeah. So to Josh's point, I do agree that might help the starting unit with regards to spacing and other things. They might be able to move the ball better. He might play off Jalen Brunson well. Now, I don't know if Obi will look better or look as good as he does when he's with that second unit. But if we're not talking just about Obi and his game and it's the betterment of the team, then to that extent, maybe he might look better in the starting lineup than Julius for the reasons that Josh mentioned. I could see that. And, to Nev, that part, I could agree. There's some truth to that because I do think that Obi helps with the spacing better than Julius. I already said long ago that it's just interesting to see how Julius and RJ play together because they both are lefty. They like being on the left side and they drive into the to the lane in similar fashion. So that getting that to work is one thing, right? So I see that and I could see how that could help. My only thing is, do I think that we'll be able to maximize Obi's offensive play as much as a starter? I don't know. I think he's better suited offensively as coming off the bench. But for the team, and this is about the team, maybe that helps the flow of the game. So I'm thinking of it more as a basketball sense, not to what your point was, Nev, about Julius and it being better for him, to put Obi as a starter to save him from the booze and the other things. I'm thinking of it more on the basketball side. It helps the team. I could see that. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I still want to see a little bit more from Obi, but I could see it. That's
Ron, I don't think there's a debate on this point that Obi's a way better fit. I don't think that's a debate. The fact that he doesn't need the basketball to be effective, the fact that he is one of the fastest bigs in the league, the fact that his off-ball movement is fantastic. So in those areas, and then it gives more usage to Jalen, it gives more usage to RJ. You get what I'm saying? So I think fit-wise, I think it's fantastic. But I think where people get clouded in the argument, oh, well, you're saying that Obi's better than Randle. Like, no, bro, that's not what we're saying, bro. But we're saying that Randle is a better all-around player than Obi at this moment in time. No discussion about that. But we talk about this moment.
But that's only at this moment in time. Obi is going to be, before the season is over, it's going to be obvious Obi is going to be the best player on this team. I'm pretty certain about that.
Okay, cool. That's a projection. That's great. I was just going to say real quick, just to end it real quick. was just that. But damn, I lost what I was going to say. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and the point I was trying to make is that putting Re- is putting Obi in the starting lineup next to Julius is that both of them going to give you a whole lot more. You know, I believe Julius can play any position on the court. So you're not missing. Julius could be Julius to me. Julius is our best defender, and that's one reason I don't want to trade Julius. You know, I like to see Obi play next to Julius because then you can put Julius on Tatum or something or Brown, whoever you want to stop for that night. You know, to ask Julius to be our defensive stopper. I think this coach needs to ask Julius to be our defensive stopper, not Barrett. I don't think
So
Barrett is that good of a defensive player as Julius. I think Julius is a much better defensive player, and he can play small forwards, guards. So put them in the starting lineup. Ask Julius to be our defensive stopper, and the the amount of offensive flow you're gonna get on the offensive side, it's going to be great. It's a win-win situation. I don't see any way the Knicks are going to lose from putting Obi in the starting lineup. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
okay, so
Right.
I
Okay.
was rocking with you partially. You had me partially until you said the Randall's the best defender. That hurts. That hurts. And then you're starting Obi, and you want to keep Randall also starting. Who are you benching? RJ? Like who's getting
No,
benched?
I mean Ajay is not bench. Ajay
No, I'm
is not
saying
bench.
are you
The only
benching Mitchell Robinson? Like who's
no,
getting benched?
we're taking out Fournier. That's it. Fournier is not in the starting lineup.
Mm.
We're
My
taking
question to you
Fournier,
is
we're
that
putting Obi in there, and we're taking Fournier out. We're
what
going to have a big
evidence?
lineup.
Mhm.
You have a big lineup just about every night. You ask about because to me, Randolph it's I know what he looks like last year was horrible, but he is our best defender. He can play defense. I've watched this guy. Ask him to
Stay
be our
right there,
defensive
Nev. Stay
stopper.
right there. What evidence can you support for the claim that Julius Randle is our best defender on this team?
Because I have watched him play point guards. When Julius is locked in, he can guard point guards, shooting guards, everybody. The
Wow.
small forward, we have seen him about Sabonis. He stopped Sabonis. I mean, I mean, the evidence is here. Is that last year Julius just did not play. Period.
Okay,
That
So he's
so
better.
this is. I'm sorry. Just give me a sec. So this is what my evidence says. Besides me watching it, so I take the stats and I take what I watch too, and then I fuse them together. Julius Randle has been a plus on opponents' points per possession, which means that anything that's a plus is usually not very good, right? And he's had years of plus 8.8, plus 6.7, which is one of the worst of the league at that position, plus 4.6, plus 1.1. With the Knicks seasons, he had a minus 1.7, and he had a plus 0.1 on the Cinderella season, but that might have been impacted by the type of perimeter defenders we had. And last season, he was ninth worst in the league in opponents' points per possessions at a plus 6.1.
I would agree with all of that because we haven't asked this guy to, hey, take this guy and take him out. The only time I have seen that was when we went to the playoff, the first year on the Thibodeau, when he would take a play and just take him out of the game defensively. Although last year, Thibodeau just gave Julius carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, and it wasn't a good thing. But it's not that the guy cannot play. The guy is, to me, I have watched his kid. He's our best defender. He can lock anybody down. Trust, Julius. Trust Obi. Put them together. It's going to work out. I'm serious. This is going to work out. Otherwise, Obi, the fans is going to get on Julius, and Julius by sometime about the third in the season, the Knicks will definitely have to get rid of Julius. It will be so obvious because Obi would need to start. about if it stays the way it is right now, Obi is going to need to start. And at some point, every time Julius touches the cut, the fans are going to boo him. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say, so I mean, Nev, I mean, listen, I think that was all great what you said. I've always wanted to see Randle and Obi on the floor together, but we just know that's not going to happen. That's not who Thibs is, right? You just paid Mitchell Robinson a $60 million contract. He's not going anywhere. You're not taking him off the floor. You're not taking him out the starting line, right? So we know that's not going to happen. I agree. I think offensively, Obi and Randle would work, right? Because then the spacing is a little bit better from that standpoint, right? You don't have a guy clogging the paint necessarily. The lanes are wide open. I think that works for us offensively, but Thibs is not going to do that. Second thing that I want to say, and I want to kind of go back to the last topic that you were talking about when you looked at all the rest of the roster, Ron. Like people need to quit being naive. There's no way in the regular season we're going to see 10 to 11 players with that even distribution of minutes like that, putting that same production out there. This is not a game of battleship. Just because you know the Knicks being deep is one thing, but thinking that you're going to get the same contributions and the same amount of minutes from everybody that was played in the preseason, you're not going to get that during the regular season, especially with Thibs. We know who he is already. So I'm not fooled by this whole thing, the whole notion of the Knicks playing these guys a certain amount of minutes and Randle playing 22 minutes and Obi playing 20. They're not going to get even amounts of minutes during the regular season. That's just not going to happen. That's not who Thibs is. I don't think many NBA coaches do that where you have an even distribution of minutes up and down the roster, right? Julius Randle is going to play 30 to 35 minutes per game. And in turn, that's going to limit Obi because you're not putting Obi anywhere else. You're not putting him at the 3. You're not putting him at the 5. You're not putting Randle at the 5. You're not putting Randle at the 3. So that's the dilemma that we have right there, right? So, you know, I'm not fooled by what the Knicks are doing in the preseason. Last preseason, they scored 120 points. They were playing with pace. We've seen everybody getting there. The Knicks are deep. They were saying the same thing last year. The Knicks are deep. The Knicks are deep. And come the regular season, the rotation shortened up. The minutes distribution was kind of one-sided. And then, you know, production-wise, offensively, we didn't score that many points. We were one of the worst offenses in the league. Not to mention, we didn't get to the free throw line that much. And when we did get there, we didn't knock down the free throws. So I'm not fooled by this whole thing. Listen, I think the Knicks have a lot of good players. I just think Thibs needs to find a way to get his best lineup on the court most of the time. Last season, the best lineup that the Knicks had was off the bench, and the starters outplayed the bench. So that's what I'm concerned about, and that's the reason why I have the take I have in regards to Obi Toppin, right? And again, this is not me knocking Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle is a tremendous player, and this is not as easy as putting Obi in a starting lineup and benching Julius Randle because you're not maximizing Randle if you put him on the bench. Right. So it's not as easy and it's not as black and white as, you know, I don't want people to interpret what I'm saying like, you know, Obi's flat out better than Randle and, you know, just throw Randle to the wolves. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just think that I want to see Obi and I want to see Obi in this with the starters a lot more than Randle because I think that that's the best for the collective unit, right, for the collective offense. And I think overall, I think that can help us push our pace, score more points, and open up those lanes for RJ, open up those lanes for Brunson, and the floor be a little bit more spaced out. That's all
right.
I'm saying.
But Josh, I do have can I ask Josh a question real quick? So Josh, my question would be that we know Thibs don't do those things. We know that Thibs values the rim protection. We know that he's very stringent with his rotations, right? And he is more stringent than a lot of NBA coaches in the league. So, but what is the harm? What do you lose out of experimenting and putting one of them at the 3 and one of them at the 4 for 4 to 5 minutes of game time and make an assessment?
I mean, I guess it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Again, I don't think that would hurt. I don't think putting Randle at the 5 and Obi at the 4 would hurt. I'm just going by who Thibs is. We know who Thibs is already. Like, I agree with you. I think we can try that experiment out, have Obi at the 3. You know, what have you. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think Thibs is willing to do that. Like, I'm not fooled by any of this stuff that's going on in the preseason. Like, I'm happy. Yay, we won. We scored 120 points and whatever. You know, we won by 20 points or whatever. But I'm not fooled by it. I'm just not.
And that's why I don't see Thibs being a long-term solution. Because if you cannot experiment with talented players, it doesn't make sense. So have a coach that's going to be so robotic and refuse to try anything new.
Yes, but he's experimenting now. It's not that he's not experimenting. It's just that he's stuck in his ways. Like, I was talking to Sim last night. And we had this long argument, long discussion. He wants to see Obi do it
I
more.
listened to that. Yeah, I listened to
and
you
all
guys
this
last
stuff,
night.
right? And he's saying, what's wrong with like just waiting it out and seeing what they got going on now? It's because we know who Thibs is. Like this experiment that he's doing right now, he's not doing that mess during the regular season. I'll be surprised if he even does it during the third or fourth preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially only in 4 preseason games. You kidding me? We know who Thibs is already. Come on. I mean, and no knock on Thibs. Thibs is a winning coach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even going to knock him that much. I just think for what this team and the way the roster is constructed, I think Thibs can get more out of these lineups than what he's been showing me over the past 2 years. Yeah. Offensively. Defensively, I have no complaints.
And you know what's funny? There was an indicating sign yesterday in the third quarter. Julius Randle played 8.5 minutes that third quarter. Brunson played 8.5 minutes, and Barrett played 10. So that made me think, okay, you're doing this already in the second preseason. Let's see how it looks when you're 2-2 or 2-3 walking into the season. I can see stuff like that happening in the first and third quarter.
That's exactly what happened last season. Exactly the same thing. The Knicks were doing it. They scored 120-some points. Pace, number one, or top 5 in pace last preseason. First 5 games of the season, same thing, kind of similar, right? After that, what happened?
We know.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm coming from with it. If Thibs proves me wrong, strike me down. You know what I'm saying? If he proves me wrong during the regular season. But I'm not fooled by any of this stuff.
I think somebody said it in the chat. If he shaves the beard, we know that he's going to go back to the same old.
That's good.
That's definitely, that's old Thibs at play. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He feels Nev nailed it with his earlier take about Obi beats his guy down the floor with the rebound and turnover anticipation. His man gets caught in no man's land, and when the point guard gets back, quickly feeds him high for the layup. That very well may be true. We'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, it's early, it's preseason. They look good. What Obi does, he does well, and it's something that is tough for some teams to defend because they don't scheme it up that way. You always have to pay attention to whoever may be trying to start a transition play or fast break. But sometimes with a guy who has really good speed like an Obi, you have to do something a little bit more. But it's all matters when the team feels that it's a huge threat, right? And for the Knicks right now, it's early, it's preseason. When we get into the regular season, and if the Knicks are playing this certain type of basketball with pace, and they're showing other things than just a Spanish pick and roll, and Obi's leaking out and doing things, or if Obi's running faster than others and getting transition baskets, then a team will adjust to it. But right now, it is what it is, and it looks good for our New York Knicks team. So I appreciate Obi for what he's doing. Before we move on, let me just say this real quick, and I've moved on personally, guys, but I just want to put this out there because Kevin Middleton said something, and honestly, Kevin, and I'm not being oblivious to facts, but what did take place, what we did hear from Jay Boogie, I've heard Jay Boogie speak about many things before, and we know he's dealt with loss. I personally did not know of what happened with his sister. So once again, I apologize to Jay Boogie. If I had known, I probably wouldn't have brought it up while Jay Boogie was on the show. I would have did it separately. So maybe next time I will put out a disclaimer. However, I will say that what I did say was in reference to a young lady who lost her life. And in regards to Ken, who said only talk sports, guess what? This happened after a basketball game, which is sports. So I'm talking what took place and what happened and what is senseless violence that we deal with every day. Okay, now moving on. And let's see here. Shout out to, I see a couple other people. Victor Rivera, I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. Salute to you. Thank you for being here. Pierre Moise in the building. Salute to you. My guy, Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show. Thank you for being here, brother. Salute.
Good, Jay.
White Falcon is in the building. White Falcon, listen, man, where you at, bro? Like you here, then you not here, then you here, then you not. Come on, man. We need you around. We need you to talk your PG-13 stuff. And it's there, by the way. There you go, PG-13. Hey, White Falcon, man. And shout out to my guy, Vernon B. Harrigan, a new member to Still Nick fans.
Nice.
Thank you for joining up, man. Appreciate you. And for anybody out there who wants to join Still Nick fans, the membership is available to you. By all means, thank you. You don't have to, but we appreciate it. And thank you for showing your support and just rocking with us. And thank you for everybody that tuned in. This has been a great conversation. We got into some real stuff for a little bit about real life stuff, but we're back in basketball, and I thank you guys for understanding that we're all human and certain things, do affect us. So that being said, I think that Josh, you made a good point. I don't always agree with you. This time I can say that you made a good point. I could see how Obi could benefit this Knicks team in another way. So we'll see what happens. And also to your point that I think we all agree with, don't be fooled by these rotations by Thibs. This is preseason. He might be turning over a new preseason leaf. Last year, I guess he had a plan to take every preseason game and make it seem like a regular season, because he started off with his regular season roster and he was just going at it. This season, maybe he's like, you know what? This is the preseason. Let's make it a preseason thing and get a look at everybody, see what they can do. But once the regular season starts, day one, he's going back to what Thibs likes, what he feels comfortable.
You know what's funny about this whole thing? What people are even missing about this whole thing? The Knicks didn't even play with Grimes and Fournier yesterday.
Right.
They didn't even play with those two. Like, think about when they come back.
Thank you.
You know
Great
what I'm saying?
point.
Like it's not going to be the same. It's not like no.
I was telling people that's a great point, because I'm like, we're seeing McBride. He's not going to sniff outside the warm-ups when Deuce and Fournier get in the lineup. Like, we know this. He's going to be designated back of the bench duties with Trevor Kills and whoever else they decide to have there.
Right. True. Definitely true. He's gonna and wait till some adversity happens when we start playing the good teams and he's not seeing exactly what he likes to see. You're gonna see him limit that rotation. That rotation is gonna be cut right down to 9, maybe even 8 in some instances.
I hope not. I hope 10. I'm wishing for 10, bro.
8 would be
too, bro. Me too.
Iron Man. That's Iron Man.
I think it'll be 10. My question at this point is the minutes distribution between your starters and your bench players, right? And having the best group of players collectively as a unit on the floor more than the other group. That's where I'm at with it, because naturally that's just how it's going to be anyway. You're going to have one group of players, starters or whatever, that are going to play more minutes than your bench, right? That unit that's on the floor for the majority of the time has to produce more. Has to produce more. If the bench and the starters are putting the same production out there, then you play them for the same amount of time. But if not, the unit that you have on the floor for the majority of the time has to produce more than the other unit. Last season, the bench outproduced the starters, and the bench was on the floor for less time. It's all simple mathematics. You know what I'm saying? Simple.
and now you brought up a great point. Evan and Grimes didn't play yesterday, right? And we know they're going to get substantial minutes on a night-to-night basis. So now we're looking at Deuce. We're not going to see Deuce. And honestly, I don't think we're going to see Cam. I really don't. And that's why they're trying to put this little open, what's it called? Like showcase for him, where it's let's see if we can attract some attention. Let's see if we can get, flip him for some assets or something like that. Or because I just don't see how he fits, because you saw it's Rosen quickly in the backcourt. What you think? Grimes is not going to play over Cam? You crazy. There's no way that's going to happen.
Here's what I say about Cam. I know that people are kind of discouraged by the stat sheets or the stats and or lack thereof or whatever from Cam. The thing that I like, and they didn't start off that great. The Knicks gave up a lot of three-pointers. But I think the thing with Cam, and the major question that I have with that Cam lineup, with RJ and Cam or whatever, was who was going to be the shooter. RJ took that role really well. He has improved as a spot-up shooter. Surprised the heck out of me. But in that type of situation where you have Randle with the ball in his hands, Brunson with the ball in his hands, Cam with the ball in his hands, and their ability to drive, kick, and penetrate, RJ was the one receiving that pass, and he was very good at knocking down those spot-up shots. All right, now defensively, I like that lineup because you can switch. Like you talking about a team that plays going against a team that plays heavy pick and roll with speed and everything like that. You can switch those lineups. You can switch Cam onto a 2. You can switch Cam onto a 4.
Mm-hmm.
You can switch Randle onto a 3. I think Nev was correct about that. Randle is a little bit underrated defensively from that aspect. He can switch on the 3s and be able to defend them well as 5s. Right. So I like that from that standpoint. And it kind of showed me something. So it's going to be interesting to see how Thibs utilizes Cam. And if the next preseason game, if Fournier or Grimes doesn't play, if he's going to go back to it, and how they're going to be able to perform. First quarter, when they came out, they didn't perform that well as a unit, but third quarter, they performed really well. Cam found his footing, and defensively, they were, turning up out there. So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested about that. I do agree. I think Grimes is going to be a there before Cam.
Yeah, and I think what helped Cam yesterday a bit was the second quarter when Thibs made the adjustment to put him on Halliburton. I think that really helped Cam see, okay, look, he could guard 3s, he can guard 2s, he can guard 1s and stuff of that nature. So it does give him the versatility if they are looking to trade him.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So let me ask you guys this, because this is it's an ongoing thing for this Knicks team to see how they can improve defensively. Obviously, they need to step up as a team to play better team defense so we can get to the same level we were at last year, if not better, because we got some new pieces. Also, offensively, we're talking about pace. We're talking about ball movement, things of that nature. We talked about ball movement the other day on D's show about how, they looked, last season compared to the first preseason game. What did you guys think about how they looked last night with regards to ball movement? And just for the assist ratio, last night they did a better assist to turnover job. They had 25 assists. The first game was 27. Last night was 25, and they had 9 turnovers. The first game was 27 and 13, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice little look that, you cut down the turnovers a little bit. The assists went down by 2, but it's still a good sign. And I like anytime the Knicks can get over 20 assists. I mean, you would love them to be over 25 or so. That's a good look. That's a great thing. So what did you guys think? Sam, what did you think about the look of the ball movement last night?
Pretty much more of the same from the first game. As far as when the starters are out there, I feel like the ball movement is always pretty well. I think Jalen does a great job of getting the guys in order. RJ, like I said, he's done a great job of also getting his teammates involved whenever he has the ball in his hands. The deal is, when it gets stagnant, is sometimes around that second unit when we don't have Derrick Rose initiating. You see guys kind of dribble the air out of the ball because they're either, and it's multiple guys, if they're not just set on scoring, they're confused as if I should shoot it or should I pass the ball. And that's when we see bad shots take place and turnovers. So I think, honestly, it's more so just the guys in the second unit being more familiar and with time just developing their game into knowing that they can score at will. We got a couple of guys who can do that. IQ does need to know that he can score at will. It's sometimes where he's thinking about doing multiple things at once, and you see him kind of dribble the air out of the ball. But besides that, I feel like the ball movement has gotten better from last season.
Okay, that sounds good. I like that. Nev, you with us? Maybe Nev's stepped away. If Nev comes back, I'll get to him. Josh, what did you think about the ball movement last night? How it looked to you?
I mean, it looked great. Same way it did last preseason. My point,
he's not phased.
I'm not. I'm just not. I need to see it carry over to the regular season. That's just always my point. Like the Knicks, listen, I thought yesterday was a much harder test for them. I thought the Pacers were a little bit more experienced, and I think the Pacers have a little bit more talent at this point than Detroit did. Detroit they were turning the ball over left and right. The Knicks were running and gunning and all of that stuff, right? Ball movement pretty much the same from the first game. They were moving the ball, even in the half court, moving the ball, swinging it around. You had the little possessions where IQ was holding the ball a little bit too much, right? But that's just his game, right? That's just his game. To make something happen, be dynamic. But I thought the ball movement was pretty much the same. They did well. I mean, they played well in the preseason. I understand why people are so high on them. I get it,
All right. Well, hey, man, I hear you, Josh. I know you got to see the proof is in the pudding. But hey, look at it like this is a hands-on practice, because whatever they're working on in practice, you got preseason against a real team. it looked good, and it looks like there's something that they're trying to work on and improve. So we'll see. You know, you got to start somewhere. You got to try it. You got to implement it and get comfortable with it. Now, I don't know if they revert, but we'll see. D, what do you think about what you saw with regards to ball movement?
Yeah, and Josh, just to veggie back with you, you're right on. Like, we got to see it against better product, against better programs, and see if that could be something sustainable moving forward, and it kind of be a pillar as to they do their offense. But I will say this: it's on and off through the first 2 preseason games. There's certain instances in certain quarters it looks great, and there's just certain instances where it totally dies. And that could be an adjustment. That could be them adapting to a new style of basketball, not having Jalen Brunson last year, stuff of that nature. But we all could agree to this. It looks a hell of a lot better than it did last year. So we could say that. But it's shoddy. It's you know, I understand 25 assists, which is fantastic. They only averaged, I think, 21 last season. I think they were next to last or last of the league in that. So anywhere around that 24, 25 is fantastic. That puts you around the middle of the pack, maybe inching towards to like an 11-10. So that's fantastic. Definitely want to see that moving forward. But like I said, it's shoddy. I thought the first unit, when they came out in the game, their defense was lacking, but I thought the ball was moving well. They were getting good quality shots. I thought when the bench came in, kind of slowed down a little bit, but then when the when the first unit came back in the second quarter, I thought it was, again, fantastic. Third quarter, it did stall. I think the bench followed that up, too, with it stalling a bit. It's inconsistent right now. It's a wait-and-see game.
Yeah, they were dead last in the NBA in assists per game. 22 assists per game. But think about it. The last 10 games Obi was out there, the last 3 games of the season, the Knicks were first in the NBA in assists. Yeah. Right? And that's without Randle, or with Randle playing limited minutes.
Yeah. So, I heard
I mean, that's a good point. What did you guys think about? Now, I understand it was extensive garbage time once again, which don't expect this to happen every game when the Knicks play, guys. So it's it's nice. It's nice. Just don't get used to it. What did you guys feel about the overall team defense? Because even though it was extensive garbage time, in the end, Indiana still put up 114 points. So, you know, I thought that, and you could see, and this was one of certain people thought that this was going to be a real interesting game for the Knicks because of how Indiana was playing prior to this game. They were able to put up some numbers. I think they scored 120 plus points in their last game. So they can score the basketball. They've got some weapons, and they're not really, once again, it's preseason. They're not clicking on all cylinders yet. They're still figuring themselves out. They got some young players that you know, Ben Mathurin looked really good out there once again. You know, it looks like, I think that Halliburton is going to have a much better year with Indiana. I think he's going to be comfortable this time around because there was a little bit transition period between leaving Sacramento and being blindsided by traded, because he said he didn't expect to get traded. So he was kind of blindsided. It took him a little while to acclimate to Indiana, but I think now you know, it's off season. Now I think he feels like he's a part of the team. So I expect him to play better and look more comfortable. So I think that this is interesting, and this is going to lead into, you know, the next game when they play them in Indiana on their home court. We got to see how the Knicks respond to that, playing on the road for the first time in this new season. But what did you guys think about the Knicks team defense at certain points throughout the game? It could be just something that you saw that maybe you didn't like that they got to clean up, but whatever it was. Sam?
Yeah, so with me, I thought that the team defense was solid, but there also were times where, like, I think everybody watched this and noticed that sometimes the switches just weren't called out. And that's something that was an issue last year. And I know a lot of people blame that a lot on Fournier, but this time Fournier wasn't in there. So we've got other guys still not calling out switches or just not listening to teammates out there. The communication is sometimes off in switches, but for the most part, like, the defense man-to-man is pretty good. I think, like we said, whenever a team seems to drive on the paint, if Mitch is not already there, he's coming flying from somewhere else and getting a block. You like what you saw out of Obi in his shot contest yesterday. He played some pretty solid defense, I thought. But, I mean, if you take away the switches and just the mishaps on that, I think the defense is pretty solid.
Okay. Nev, are you back?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay, all right. What do you think about the team defense yesterday? What you saw, like how they played, if there was anything that stood out?
Yeah, actually, I expected Indiana to be a high scoring team. So when the game, even before the game started, because of their last game, I figured that this game might be high scoring. So it didn't surprise me, you know. So like I said, and like I said before, I don't put much emphasis in preseason. The fact that we could stop them and blow them out really shows that we're going to score points. You know, if the trend continues into the regular season, we're going to score points. But I did expect Indiana to give us some problems because they scored like 120 the last game. And like, hey, it's going to be, we're not. I mean, this is preseason, and nobody's in at their best right now.
Right.
So yeah, so I didn't expect a close game. I expect a high scoring game. So it didn't surprise me.
Okay. Josh. I don't care about none of that, Josh.
No. Listen, the Knicks are going to play defense. The Knicks are going to play defense. I'm not really concerned about them from the defenseman. I never was. I'm not concerned about Brunson. People were talking about that. Oh, Brunson's going to, never. I never was concerned about that at all. The problem that I did have yesterday, one of the few problems that I've had, transition defense. We gave up a lot of easy buckets to them in transition. Not just off of turnovers, but off of makes, right? We got to be able to do better on that side. That's why you've seen Thibs kind of call those timeouts. He tends to call timeouts, so I give him credit for doing that. He knows when to call timeouts to stop the other team from getting their runs, and basically to get his team back on track defensively. So we got to clean that up. We got to prevent those easy baskets from the other side. Other than that, I thought we played well defensively. We kind of found our footing in the second half, prevented them from doing pretty much what they wanted to do. Indiana's not a team that's really going to drive. They don't have guys that can basically, get to the hole at will. They got guys who can knock down 3-point shots. They come off of screens, come off of curls. You got Hill there. You got Duarte, my brother from DR. You know what I'm saying? Knocking down those threes. But they don't have guys who can really put pressure on the defense and get into the cup like that. So I thought based off of that, the Knicks did well. But we'll see how it all happens when, they defend against someone who's fast and get to the cup and can put some pressure on the defense from the paint.
Right. D, what you think, brother?
Not as optimistic. I think it's kind of like the ball movement. It comes and it goes. There's some moments where you see the team defense look fantastic, and then there's moments where there's certain switches they're not communicating. And of course they got to, get that down and stuff like that, and that's totally understandable. Some weak side stuff. I am concerned about on-ball containment, as I always am with Brunson, with Rose. Brunson is a willing defender without a doubt, and he will give effort. But 6'1" is 6'1", and he's not really defensive. Sound like that, like some other guys, like a Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet or something of that nature. So I think it's something that could be exposed as time does go on. But I mean, my big thing is that the team defensive scheme, the structure, the principles, that it looks a lot better. And guys, and I saw guys talk better against the Pistons than Indiana. There was a lot of this going on yesterday, and that's something they got to fix up, especially that they do have some holes as far as on-ball containment. So it's very important to keep on talking and make sure that everybody's ready for weak side, or if they're going to rotate strong side, or if the ball's reversed, they're going to help it recover there. Like they have to do that a little bit better. But look, it has its moments. Sometimes it looks great. Sometimes it doesn't. It's another thing about wait and see and see how that progresses as the season goes.
Okay. I like that. I got one more question, and then I want to get to just your thoughts on the next preseason game versus Indiana in Indiana. And then, we can wrap up the show. Shout out to Nick D in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And Bricks Nation is in the building. So Nick D and Bricks in the building. Salute to you guys. Appreciate y'all. Before I get to that, let's see. Do I have it? Yeah, I do. Okay. I'm going to put this up real quick because thanks to, a fan camera. Normally, you put up something highlight nature, and I excuse the quality of it because obviously it's recorded from a fan's phone. Normally we're not able to, put up sound because you don't want to get copyright and all that stuff. But I can put this sound up because it's recorded from a fan's phone. And this is just another angle, another look for those who may not have seen it. And this looks cool. Nice to hear the Garden rocking. Let's share this. All right. So this is shout out to Obi Muse. Appreciate that. And another person, Obi Toppin something on Twitter, had put this up and that's why I was able to see it. But take a look at this other angle of Obi's dunk last night. Nice to see that. Very nice. Yep. One more again. We get one more again, folks. One more again. And he left Jalen Brunson hanging right there. That's okay.
How dare you?
Yes.
And you know nice. What was best about that? Forget the dunk. The defensive play to come for the paint, get a good contest, and get the block. That's what I really like to see.
Yep, I agree. All right. Yeah, Obi is special, man. That leaping ability, and he's got some guts, man. Because all it takes is one time to go up, put it through the legs, and boing, and I don't want to see Thibs' face. But he says, in fairness to him, he's very confident. He said, "Listen, he said last night, all I'm thinking in my head is you can't miss this." And he's like, in my mind, I know if I'm going to try it, I'm not missing it. I'm very comfortable with it. So cool. Kudos to Obi, man. He knows what he does when he's doing them dunks. Shout out to him. So my last question about what I saw last night. A lot of people are concerned, and the Knicks have been made, put a big emphasis on pace. I'm not even going to talk about pace right now. It rhymes with pace. Space. What did you guys think about the spacing last night? Because I have my own feelings about it. But let me hear from you. Sam, what did you think about the spacing last night?
I honestly don't. I'm not feeling too great about it. It's nothing to write home about, honestly. Yes, it's better than last season. That's because you have a point guard who's going to tell people to get the heck out the way. But there also are times where it's like, dude, Randle, you're right next to the guy, man. Like, give him some room to work. Like, it's always like that for whatever reason. It's not even just Randle. It's just players on this team. Like, why are you right next to the guy? Give him room to operate and clear out. If you're not setting a pick, you're just in the way. You're bringing your guy. Free double. So, I mean, like, it's not bad per se, but it could definitely be better.
Facts. Nev?
Yeah.
What'd you think? Do you remember seeing the game and seeing how the spacing was last night?
I think the spacing is because of our offense. We don't really run any like down screens for any of our guys. So sometimes we gonna look like a mess because we just play. It's basically pick and roll. That's basically our offense. It's basically pick and roll. There's some posts. And so our space is never going to look good because a lot of our guys don't go very far. They just don't. They stand on. I just stand on the outside behind the 3-point line. We have guys standing behind the 3-point line most of the time, and that's basically our offense. And that's why we got a point guard. Basically, that's the reason we got a point guard is because we're gonna run one of those, Tom Thibodeau's offense, which doesn't have a lot of players movement. So because of that, we're gonna look bad. There are times we're just gonna look like crap out there. But it is what it is. That's the way he coaches. So there's not much we're gonna do.
I hear
we're
you.
gonna have every game. I'm telling you, every game you're gonna see us in a certain point of the game where it just looks like a mumbo jumbo mess. But that's how it is going to be.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about preseason. And it's good that they have 4 games to kind of work on things. Now it's interesting. I think, and I don't know if this is real. I think maybe he was exaggerating. Back in the day, you guys remember how long preseason was? Because it was a lot of games.
It's like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, it was a lot of games. So yeah, they had a little bit more of a chance to really work out the kinks. And I don't necessarily know if switching to a 4-game preseason is the best thing for NBA players, because it's not like it's football. Football, they shortened preseason because people kept getting hurt. And basketball, you don't have to worry about season-ending injuries for the most part. It might behoove them to give them another game of practice each year, but whatever. It is what it is. Josh, what did you think about the spacing last night?
It wasn't too bad. Obviously, you've seen the play with Randle and Cam Reddish, right? That's the play that really sticks out for me. Randle just has to go to the basketball. He needs the basketball. But I thought, they didn't have Fournier, right? So right there, Fournier and Grimes, like 2 of the best shooters on the team they didn't have, right? So they went with a lineup that had Cam Reddish in it and RJ Barrett, and they used RJ as that spot up shooter. And I thought that worked, right? It was all right. But not the level of spacing I would like to see. Right, not the level of spacing that I like to see. I like to see him kind of open it up a little bit more. When Hartenstein's out there on the floor, I think Hartenstein opens up a lot, right? Or in that bench unit, he opens up a lot because he doesn't necessarily need to be near the basket. He can go to that mid-post area, free throw extended area, and go to work from there. Passing, setting screens, finding guys back door. So I thought the spacing was okay. Still got to work out some kinks with that, but I think everything will improve when Fournier gets back and you get the shooters back. So,
Okay. All right. Shout out to Nick of Time Show. Mr. J. Ellis said shorter preseasons help playoffs and finals teams rest. I think that is a point of emphasis. I mean, the question is, does it benefit the league overall? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what is better served for them, but it does make sense for those teams in the playoffs to get that, a little bit more rest and not have to play more games before the season starts, and closer to obviously finishing from, the last postseason. D, what do you think about the spacing from last night?
So I agree with you guys for the most part. One thing about Hartenstein, Josh, right? He has to shoot, though. You notice he didn't shoot yesterday, and they were playing off him. And that big was towards like the elbow or like towards the free throw line, clogging the lanes and stuff like that. So although I agree, potentially he could stretch it, but he's got to shoot it. And then if he starts missing a couple, does he become irrelevant out there? It's kind of very interesting to see how that moves forward. But as far as the spacing, it's the same thing as a lot of the other things. Sometimes it looks good, and sometimes it looks treacherous. Now, I'll give Tom this. Yesterday, he did 2 things fantastically. He caught some critical timeouts at some critical times that really got the team back on track. He did a good job of that. And another thing he did, too, was that out of those timeouts, he came out with some beautiful sets. Okay, so I like to give credit where credit's due. Tom did a very good job of that. The problem with this Knicks team right now is that when they run their sets and it doesn't work, it looks like everybody's looking at each other. And what happens is, and I'm glad you brought up that Randle play because I was going to bring that up. When Randle penetrated and kicked the Cam, right? There's certain laws of basketball in motion that guys have to understand. And I notice a lot of NBA players don't do it. So, for example, you saw when Cam, when he attacked the closeout, he went one dribble and then he pulled up, right? And then Randle was right next to him. The law is that when Randle kicks that, he goes straight to the corner. You see? But Randle didn't know that. And there's times when guys cut and they end up on the same side as the shooter when they're supposed to be on the opposite side. So I don't know if, because they haven't played and they're still trying to get, but I see that a lot even during the regular season. So it's very interesting to see the spacing and these team principles through the spacing and how they run their offense of what's being taught throughout the year, not just guys just standing around once they move somewhere. You see, and that's an indication of guys not understanding where to move and how to go. So, but overall, I thought it was okay. It looks good when Jalen Brunson is kind of directing traffic. What I like about Jalen and the difference between him and Quickly in this sense is that Quickly will stand there and bounce the air out of the basketball, but he'll still be doing this stuff, right? where Jalen kind of gives you a quick thing, and then he'll get into his move, and then he'll pick it apart from there. So I think that's very beneficial moving forward for your space, especially if you're going to have an Evan and Grimes on the court. Maybe you should experiment with both of them being on the court at a certain time, because you still would have Grimes out there for wing defense. So, and he can stretch out the floor like Fournier does. So that's very interesting. That might help some of their spacing issues, maybe 8 to 10 minutes a game or something like that. But I think right now what I saw yesterday is that everything is spacing, the ball movement, everything we talked about. It's a work in progress right now. And what's the worst part about it is that when it's preseason, it's being played on these type of teams. And then how are they going to be able to adjust on the fly? Because we do have a very tough 15, 20 game schedule coming. So I wonder that will the season kind of be, and I'm just thinking out the box here, will the season kind of be in shambles a bit because they're still trying to adapt to these things, that teams that they're playing, right? Your Golden States, your Milwaukees, your Bostons, these guys have been playing together. So will it take a little bit of a curve? Will it be something they appear later? That they'll get better later. And so there's a lot of really interesting things with that moving forward. Many things to talk about throughout the season, without a doubt, with our Knicks.
Agreed. Yeah, I think, you guys all said what I was thinking. Yeah, and you pointed out the play that was evident to most. I just think that it's definitely going to be a work in progress, and it's something that pace and spacing and ball movement, all of these things the Knicks are going to have to focus on, because the better they are at all of that will help to combat if they are not a successful, highly efficient three-point shooting team. Fournier's going to get his. He's going to have his moments. But overall, it's nice to see what RJ's doing right now. But overall, if the Knicks are not looking efficient from the three-point line, you need to be able to create spacing in other ways, so guys still have those lanes to penetrate to the basket and still break down their guys. And I love the dribble, drive, and dish. I love saying that, especially when it comes to point guards. And another thing, when you brought up with Jalen, Jalen plays a certain way that he gives you the effect that you want from a point guard to allow for other plays to happen in the future. Like, he tries to get, from one point to another point to draw the defense and get somebody an open shot. There was points where you saw Jalen, like you said, he gives you that moment and then he starts to go into his move. Now, there was a point where I saw him twice last night, at least those are the two times I saw it, where Jalen had somebody wide open that he could have kicked it to. But Jalen knows, as the point guard, first off, I can get mine, and I got to put pressure on the defense so that guy who's open, I can get him open later in the game. Because if I put pressure on them, they know they got to defend me. They can't just go head out to the guy who's open. They got to watch what I do, because I'm getting in the lane and I'm scoring efficiently. So that's a good thing that Jalen does, and that's what having a true point guard does for an NBA team, and something we definitely missed on this Knicks team. So I love it. I love it. It's great. It's great to see. So before we get out of here, guys, I just want to get your quick takes on the Knicks have their next preseason game. Wow, it feels like it's forever away. Is Wednesday, October 12th at 7 p.m. against the Pacers in Indiana. Man, that's a lot of days, off in between games. So that'll be the third game. And then remember, there's only 4 preseason games. So it's interesting. They take, we go from playing on Friday night to then playing on Wednesday and then playing again on Friday. I don't understand what that's about. Maybe that's just to give you guys almost a sense of getting close to having a back-to-back. I don't know what that is, but it is what it is. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. So, Sam, what are your expectations? What are you looking forward to in the next game against these Indiana Pacers once again in Indiana? You know how it is when teams get to play a team and they get to see them again. What do you think? Oh,
okay,
Sam,
my fault. We had the motorsport racing going on outside. I don't know why there's like dirt bike city outside, so I had to mute myself. But I think it'll be more of the same. I think we'll see auditions for some of these guys trying to fight to see how many minutes they can get in the regular rotation, or even just be on the team in general. So I think we'll see just auditions for a lot of guys on this team. Once again, you might see less minutes from some of these starters as we crack down to the the latter half of the preseason. So I think we'll see less minutes from some of the starters, depending on how the game's going. But for the most part, another audition for these guys trying to get roles on the team.
I like it.
Sam is just sharp and precise today, bro.
Isn't he? Man. Nev, what are you thinking about this next upcoming game against Indiana in Indiana on Wednesday?
I would like to see if we can beat them 2 times in a row. That's number one. Can we beat them? Even a close game, maybe about 7 points, because I think they will play better. And I expect Fournier to come back. I don't see Cam starting, so I think I'm looking. I think the coach is going to go more regular season lineup. So just about everybody are going to. This game to me might be the game I tell us who's going to start in the regular season. And if it's, I expect Fournier to be in the lineup back to what it was last year, pretty much back to the same lineup last year, and so that's what I'm looking for. It's just, can we beat them a second time? Because teams, when you beat them once, they play more aggressive the second time around. So can we beat them that time? That if that happens, I can say we might be trending to a good team. If it doesn't happen, because that's always tough to beat a team a second time around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh, what do you think, brother? What's your thoughts on next game versus Indiana in Indiana?
I disagree with Sam. I think this next game, upcoming game on Wednesday, is going to be the same as the first 3 preseason games, and then in Game 4, that's when you'll see the closest thing to the rotation in the regular season. I don't think the minutes are going to be less in the last game. I think they're going to be more. I think it's going to resemble what you will see, in the regular season, right? Because then you're going to have Fournier back and you're going to have Grimes back, hopefully, right? So that's what I expect to see in that last preseason game. This next one is kind of going to be more the same. Getting everybody out there, getting everyone's feet wet. Deuce McBride's going to get his share of minutes, things of that nature. But Game 4, expect 10 people to play, unless it's a super blowout and last 5 minutes of the game, you get your Archidiakonos and your Spees and those folks, Farron Hunt and X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Okay, I hear you. D, what are your thoughts? Any expectations? Anything you're looking forward to in this next upcoming game? 3 weeks away from now. I mean, I'm sorry, Wednesday.
Yeah, for real. But I'm with you guys for the most part. I will differ in the sense that although Grimes has to play next game, and I think Grimes will be ready to play next game. And I think Evan will be playing next game too, because in Game 4s, in the last games of preseasons, that's usually when the coaching staff lets the Farron Hunts of these guys go ahead on the leash for like a whole quarter, maybe even a quarter and a half, depending how it goes. So I think in Game 3, we definitely will see more of a picture of what it will look like, and we'll get a glimpse of that, and maybe the first half in the 4th game as well. But I think it's very important in this Indiana game. I want to see the tightening up of the on-ball containment. If the Indiana Pacers, I counted like 12 to 15 blow-bys in that first half. So I'm saying if the Indiana Pacers is doing that to you, Buddy Hield was taking dudes off the dribble. I'm like, oh, damn, no, this is no bueno. So that's something that has to be in check. I think, obviously, they have philosophies and they have principles in which they're trying to install. I think that's very apparent. And I think it's very important in Game 3 that they just continue building on that. And they continue getting quality shots. They continue having a player movement and ball movement. And I think the rest will take care of itself. But got to contain the basketball. This is a perimeter-driven star league. You have to stop guys on the perimeter. It's great to have Mitch down there. That's a plus. That's like an icing on the cake. But you've got to stop the point of attack. So that's something big to look at. Definitely interested to see Grimes. I think Grimes should play at least 12 to 15 minutes because, of course, you don't want to push him too much coming off the foot soreness. But you definitely want to get a glimpse, want to see a glimpse of him definitely with the second unit, and you definitely want to see a glimpse of him with maybe some minutes with the first unit as well, especially that him and Evan are a toss-up for that starting job. So it's a good evaluation period to see, who would fit best. I think it's very important that I think you play Evan in that third game as well, because I think that's the best chance you're going to get for 4 quarters at how that's going to look throughout the season, especially that it is debatable that you are 11 or 12 deep. So, but I do expect for the team-wise, look, if it wasn't for the second quarter, okay, that's a close game. Okay, the last 4 or 5 minutes of that second quarter kind of set the game apart. If you look at the scores at first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter from each team, it was a close game. So I expect more of the same thing because I think Indiana's built pretty decently, and I think it's going to be another good test for our Knicks. And I can't wait for 75 years from now when that game appears.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I think. Once again, man, great takes. I agree with a lot of what was said. Excuse me. I'm looking forward to just seeing them go out there and continue to play, solid basketball and work out the kinks so that the regular season they get off to a good start. Don't basically mimic what they did last year. They got off to a really good start. But you have to kind of sustain some of that basketball play, especially when they get punched in the mouth, and they are going to get punched in the mouth, guys. That schedule is a tough one. It's not about being worried or scared about who you're playing. It's about knowing you're going to be playing some good teams, and you have to continue to bring it and play solid, smart basketball. That's it. Like, just keep doing everything you're working on. Keep trying to do that, and don't start going into poor basketball habits, because the other thing that happened to the Knicks a lot last year is whatever they were working on, whatever plan they had for an attack, when the defense started swallowing them up, and there was a lot of dribble and no ball movement, and they didn't know where to turn, and people are standing around looking at each other. People like RJ and Randle went into ISO ball and just tried to do whatever they could to get some points on the board, because they started losing. Obviously there's a situation where I guess it's unavoidable, you have to do that stuff, but you want to try to still do it in the form of the realm of the system that you created for the game, because once they get into that ISO ball, when everybody's just trying to put something in the basket to avoid the blowout, it gets a little crazy. We got to see how they deal with that. I'm waiting to see that personally. But I'm excited, man. It's a new Knicks season once again. Preseason, 2 more games left before we get into the regular season. I can't wait for opening night in the Garden, October 21st versus the Detroit Pistons. Once again, NBK will be in the building. There's about 40 or 50 of us that'll be there. Still, Knicks fans will be there. Obviously, Ron and John will be there this time around. He wasn't there last year, so it'll be pretty dope. I'm looking forward to see whoever's in the building. And if others are in the building that are not necessarily with the MBK crew, let me know on Twitter. Hit me up, because I would love to kind of catch up with you guys at the game if I can. That'll be dope experience. And also, we're going to be at Legends Bar. I believe that's on 33rd Street or 31st Street. It's one of them, but it's right by the Garden. We'll be doing the pregame and the postgame after the basketball game. So we'll do the pregame, go to the game, then do a postgame, come back, and all that stuff. So yeah, man, even if you guys can't make the game for whatever reason, if you could come to Legends Bar and chop it up with us as we do the pre and post, that'll be pretty dope, man. We'll get to meet everybody. So any final words as we get up out of here, Sam?
Oh, I'm good. Just as always, peace and blessings. Hope everybody's doing well, and hope everybody stays safe out here. Just with the different circumstances that we see in society, both with the medical field and just life. Life happens. So hope everybody stays safe, and peace and blessings.
Yeah. Nev?
Yeah. Just thank you, man. Just appreciate the time. That's all I got to say.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. Josh, anything going on with you? Any final words? And what's up with the controversy, man? Haven't seen a show in a minute. What's up? I was waiting for you last weekend. I thought we was gonna chop it up.
I just did one last weekend. I did one with Mike Paseglia from Bad Weather Fans Podcast. You're next up.
Okay, I didn't see. You know what? I gotta check my alerts, man, because normally I get alerted when they drop. All right, I gotta check my thing.
Yeah, I tend to do one try to do one once a week. My schedule is kind of crazy. I'm active duty, so I don't really be putting out as much content as I would like. That will be coming to an end soon. I'm almost done. So yeah, I got you next up on the list. I'm trying to get one person every week. Just so I can keep the ball rolling. D, I want to do one with you as well. I already sent you a tweet. We're gonna make it happen. So yeah, controversy still going strong. And as the season kicks off, I'm gonna start doing more. But as of right now, I'm cooling out, man. I'm cool. I'm just cooling. Let me get my Mets going. Let's go Mets tonight. We got a big game tonight. We got to win. You know what I'm saying? And let's go Knicks too.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, D, World of Hoops, D, aka D Poetic, aka D the Nick Analyst, aka D is aka. Come on, man. What's up, brother?
It's like that Chris Rock skit on the Method Man album, right? But I'm gonna ritualize it as I always do. My first and foremost, thank you to the chat. Without you guys, we are not here. Your guys' earned weight is worth more than gold. We appreciate you all day, every day. Appreciate the panel as well. The panel was very sharp today. Appreciate the good basketball talk as well. For Nev, you're my guy, but I would have had that cat picture jumping out of the window.
Yeah.
If you had said that in my realm, but anyway, but we appreciate it. Thank you for your thoughts as always. For my only thing for you guys is that you guys have to be very patient with your expectations of certain players and in certain directions as to where this team is going. It's a work in progress. It takes time. And certain guys may pop later, then certain guys may pop early, but may not pop later and stuff of that nature. So just take it one game at a time, evaluate your guys based on what you see and stuff like that. Try not to jump out the window. Stay sensible, okay? And we should have a good year whether we win or lose on some weird stuff.
Yeah, dope. When's the next time D's World of Hoops is going to be on YouTube?
Good question. When's our game on Wednesday?
Yeah,
so I'll do the pregame on Tuesday.
Cool.
Who's banging?
All right.
Somebody building the house? What's going on? I had some banging.
All right, sounds good. Shout out to Ala Wise in the building. I see you. Shout out to XO Sports Talk as well. I think that's everybody. And King Sipes, I see you. You on one, but I see you. Salute to everybody, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, it's I don't know if everybody hit that like button. There's 104 people here. I got 98 likes up there, man. Let's see if we get to 100. Can we two more? Can we get two more?
We ain't leaving till the two more come. How about that?
Come on, baby. Let's hit that 100 number. Get up out of here in a nice way, man.
Here we go. 99.
Hey, looking good.
Ticker.
101. There we go, folks.
There you go. It's okay. We're good.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys.
Man.
Great. Have a nice day now. All right, good.
Yeah. Take care. Listen, once again, thank you guys for being here and rocking. Shout out to a fantastic panel of guests. Sam Grandison, my guy Nev, Josh, aka Uncle Fulio from the Controversy, and NBK fam. D's World of Hoops. I'm not gonna do it. Definitely appreciate you as always, brother. Shout out to my guy Ron Cleveland, man, for giving us a quick cameo, looking like the man of mystery. And a special shout out to my guy Jay Boogie. Appreciate him so much, man. That's why I started this show off with the Obi video because it's only fitting, and I'm gonna close the show with the Obi video. It just makes sense. Obi had a great night, and you know what? That joint is evergreen, man. For Obi on the way. And I will be giving my guy Jay Boogie a call after the show is up because that's what I do for people I care about. So appreciate to all y'all for tuning in. Definitely stay tuned. Next time you see us will be on Monday night for the SKF weekly show at 9 p.m. And then once again on Thursday for the NBA report on the NBK network. As I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knick fans. We'll be back again. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here and rocking. And that's pretty much it, man. That's our show. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, guys. Listen, all positive stuff, man. Our Knicks are it's a new season. Let's just let it play out. And as you know, the sentiments were, let's be patient with them because it's gonna be some ups and downs. It's looking good right now. All right, y'all. I'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Salute.
The winner of the 2022 AT&T Slam Dunk Contest from the New York Knicks, let's hear it for Obi Toppin.
I figure I spread some love and some joy amongst us, you know what I'm saying? Represent for my young fella. I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. I'm 6'9", incredible with the vertical. Medical prints on the rim means I'm surgical. Posterize you with a flick cause you playing gutter. Same house like my dad when he played at the Rucker. How you wanted the alley-oop from out the roof. If I was Blake, I would've jumped over a new coupe. My shoe game by the greatest, so I stay sporting. Some OB hot toppings, so I went Jordan. That windmill from the wing, it'll make the garden buzz. They take off with one bounce where Fat Joe was. The next morning, everybody saying it's my night. The great Warner will be talking on my highlights. That one jersey be swerving through the back cuts. And I ain't drunk when I tell Quick to throw it up. Get out my way, you ain't seen that no look pass. The next dunk might Darryl Dawk and break your glass. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi. When I put this on your head, I'm Obi. When I smash this on your head, I'm Obi. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head. Last year they jerked us from the dunk test. This year I'm back, you know I'm Movex. I hold it down my own, represent the city. All my Mars underground chat stay gritty. 5 times we winners on the showcase. Never mind the Reggies, let them all hate. From New York to Cleveland, All-Star Weekend. If I don't win that trophy, I ain't leaving. Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy J Boogie. I don't play no games with this. I support our team to the fullest, you know what I'm saying? But I only got one thing to say. Play the young kids, that's it. Y'all know where our future is at. The future is with them. Not in the past, not in the present, the future. Let's go. Let's go. When I bang this on your head, I'm Obi. You know my name when I'm topping on your head, I'm Obi.